third time was amazing. They said it could never be done again, but the fourth time is going to be the best ever, and maybe less than 3 hours. It's the LaserDisc Wolfpack THX CAV Special Limited Edition podcast with possibly Hogan discs. We'll see. I am your kind co-host, CultureDog Sam Hatch, and with me, as always, is the man with the plan, the mighty Ryan Cushing.
Thanks for the intro, Sam. I'm Ryan Cushing, and hopefully we've prepared a little bit of something special tonight, so I'll kick it over to Seth.
Hey, I'm Seth, the Swedish guy, and well, I'll kick it over to the other side of the world, which is nearby the ocean in California. Maxeene, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Mad Maxeene, the LaserDisc Queen here in sunny Southern California. And if you want the weather, you'll have to receive a screenshot. So I'll send that to Bill.
Hey, what's up? Bill here, hanging out in Boston tonight. Here to talk about some laser discs.
Hey Bill, you've already been upstaged, Bill, by 2 cats, so you just say it.
Mine's just sleeping. She's back there.
All right, we need to see your cat. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Furniture.
Excellent.
Yeah, Peter, what's up?
I am Peter Biancardi.
Yep.
That is Spider Kitty. And I'll welcome our friend Andy here with, is that Sooty there, Andy?
It looks like magic.
That's magic.
Magic.
Excellent. Yeah, special guest, Andy Summers. We'll tell you a little bit more in a moment. And then, of course, the one and only Trevor.
Heel turn.
Yep.
Heel turn like always. I'm Trevor here in Detroit. Just here to try to get these sponsorships going for us. And other than that, I'm going to send it back over to Sam. We can get this thing started and start the timer.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, so this is the fourth cast. The last one was pretty wild and eventful, and we'll be talking some more follow-up on some of the events that went on there. But the raffle was wicked cool. Thanks to everybody who participated. And, yeah, we decided to have a special spotlight guest moment this week. I received an email from our friend Andy, who, we've been watching his YouTube channel for quite some time and has a storied history, working in the cinemas in the UK, and has an amazing home theater and, history with LaserDisc in particular. So welcome, Andy. Thanks for joining us here on the podcast.
Hello, thank you, Sam, for the intro. I've been an avid LaserDisc collector for many years, since days of a bit of cinema at a local multiplex that I started back in 1989 for a short while, and then had collected LaserDisc and been wowed by their spectacular clear image and robustness, with none of that typical what you get with VHS tape, where you watch a scene over and over and over, and then eventually you get noise on the tape because it's all weared out and damaged. But oh gosh, this just plays over and over and over, like it's like Memorex,
Yep.
And the sound is absolute wow, because you don't get any of that typical noise, and it was so like cinema. And so I've just been hooked since the 1993, I think, when I started getting LaserDisc.
Yeah, me too. That's my year.
Yeah, and after a few more years later, I got back into cinema projection again for a brief while, and then eventually that was it. And now I'm pushing on the years a little bit. I'm retired now. I've had clusters of heart attacks over the years. God hates me, and so.
But we love you, Andy.
Yeah, we love you.
Thanks. Thank you very much. I'm a bit troubled at times. I've got mental illness and such, and so I have days where I have swing moods, where I'm totally down in the dumps. I could have $1 million and I'll still be down. But
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just a classic. I revisited a couple of weeks ago. I think maybe a week ago. Played it on the video projector, and I thought, wow, you know, it looks so amazing looking at it. Since I saw it last time at the cinema, which was back in 1989.
And I saw some of the videos you posted recently with that, and even just with the audio coming over YouTube, you can still get a sense of a bit of the bass that's coming out of your system. Yeah,
you won't get the full total.
Yeah,
you know what it actually sounds like in a room because a microphone and only is going to pick up what it's going to pick up. If I had to do the whole room out with literally microphones and then equalize the levels differently in certain parts of the room, it still wouldn't sound anything like it. Even if I were to play it back on headphones, it would still be something missing.
And you just installed some serious JBL. Do you have 5 across your front array behind the screen?
I'm what you call a hoarder, Sam.
Excellent.
We hadn't noticed.
It is sad. My home is cluttered with speakers, cluttered with LaserDisc, cluttered with small disc formats.
So basically, you're living our dream.
Yeah, I wish I had stayed where I was living, you know, years ago before me and my dad moved home, because you know, my dad said, "Oh, I shouldn't have sold that home. You know, because you could have stayed there." I'm quite content with where I am, and it's a very tiny box room. This is because most typical British homes are very small, and I've only managed to, how can I say, fit all this into a room and make it work, even though some people would say no. My wife would say no to that. And so I mean, there's a screen up there that I occasionally use, and the projection, TV OLED that I use regularly. And when projecting, it just clears the top of that screen for scope movies. If it's a widescreen movie, because they open up in they use the vertical plane rather than should use the horizontal. They should format discs so that they are on the same horizontal plane as a scope movie.
Yeah, keep it constant height and just be able to,
It's so much mucking around you got to do. And it was so easy in the days of projection. Change the aperture plate, open masking, close the dowser light. Close the dowser light, change the aperture plate, open the masking, flip the lens over from widescreen to scope, wait for the film to come down because you only got maybe about 60 seconds or no, less than 60 seconds until the film comes down, goes through the film gate, and then you got to open the dowser, turn the fader up, adjust the focus, and then that's it. And then you can have a cup of tea. No, you got to do that in a few seconds.
So you did manual changeovers then, Andy?
Yeah.
Well, that's the I think a former friend of mine, Stefan. So that's the craftsmanship of projectionists. Then when it went to platters, it wasn't the same. Many of the older projectionists say when it went to platter, it wasn't the same as doing the changeovers, because that's you have to look for the first mark and then start the one, and then the next one come, you do the changeover. That is
I've never had that pleasure of doing that because it was all automated at the multiplexes. So that's why they got the Q dots on there. Because they still think those films are still going to be playing in a cinema where they might have A and B projector.
In the city where I live, when they get 35mm, they get it from the Swedish Film Institute, and they're not allowed to splice it together because it's an archival copy. So they do the manual changeovers. So because they run it for one night.
This has Q dots on it, Lawrence of Arabia.
Yes.
I was speaking to someone of the guys here. I think it's Peter.
Yeah, we were talking about Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah, you got Moose. But you were looking at the print that you got, and it didn't have the Q
top,
dots on
it's
it.
like they removed them on the High Vision Muse restoration print.
Or they took it from maybe like a.
It says it's from the 1989 restoration.
Okay.
And we couldn't find them. I was searching for a little bit, right around the 20-minute mark or so, and it didn't look like they're in there. It's the only copy I have, so I didn't have anything to compare it against.
Yeah, because the one Andy's got is the '89 restoration. So
that's right.
Yeah. But and you've been shouting from the rooftops for many years about the sound quality on LaserDisc versus Blu-ray with the near field mixes and everything like that. I mean, there's a difference, obviously, but I don't know, maybe you could tell the people about near field mixes.
It's a trifle, Sam.
Yeah.
But I can really lose my wad, my wad.
Yeah, we don't want to stress you out too much.
I'll try and keep it PG. I'll try and keep it general.
All right.
So I'll try and refrain from bucket mouthing. But I haven't checked this with anything else, like a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
There's a 4K just came out. So you have to buy like a big box.
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
You got to buy a box set.
Yes.
Andy, when you pop something in, can you tell right away that it's the near field mix, or do you have to compare the two and you see which one's better?
Really.
Yeah.
Not really.
No.
Yeah.
Unless you got a source, unless you have something like a 35mm print theatrical source at hand, there's not really any way you can tell. But
so you won't know how bad the Blu-ray potentially is unless you spin the LaserDisc and see what the difference is and see how much better that sounds.
Yeah, because there are some collectors that say the LaserDisc is usually going to be a better source to the movie. I did hear a film that was on the other day. I think it was called the what do you call it? That film with aliens.
Aliens?
Independence Day?
The Arrival.
Oh, The Arrival, Charlie Sheen, yes.
And they got two. I got that version on LaserDisc, and they had a Blu-ray release many years ago, and it was absolutely ghastly, covered in digital noise reduction. They looked like they were filmed in Wax-O-Vision.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, unwatchable, totally unwatchable. The sound mix, it's okay, but it's definitely a remix because I preferred the LaserDisc to the 7.1. I thought I would jump on and I'd like it, but recently it's been on Amazon. But I think it's the print version that was done before it was remixed, because there's certain sound elements in it that I can hear with the beginning of a movie that sound like similar to the LaserDisc or maybe a DVD 5.1. Because they only do these remixes just to sell an old movie to attract us poor little gullible suckers into buying it.
You gotta buy every new version.
Yeah, but at least you still got the originals,
Sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
But, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. And you've got, we talk about your home theater, but you've kind of as you mentioned before, you don't have to, you've got that room that you could do whatever you want in. You don't have to worry about somebody, complaining about a tower speaker, causing some, ghastly eye strain. But you've got these, stacks of really quality, processors and commercial theatrical gear. Did you start collecting that from the get-go, or did you get them all from eBay after theaters dumped those things? Yeah.
eBay.
Very cool.
So it's just like, it's just out there, They recently got Dolby, I think it was Dolby MPU1, which is what I got up here, but it hasn't got all the cards for it. Sadly, it's only got one card in it for the power supply. That's a lot of use to me because I haven't got the preamp cards.
Gotcha.
But one recently showed up on eBay USA, $600. Oh
wow.
Ouch. That costs more than the whole thing that I brought.
Huh.
Andy,
What do you have invested in all that over there, Andy? Is that expensive or you got it all at a deal?
Cheap on eBay.
Yeah.
Just got to wait until it shows up.
Yeah.
You just got to wait, and then you can buy yourself a bit of cinematic audio history and then integrate it with your home cinema.
Well, that's the thing. You have to know what you're looking for, and you have to know how to hook it up to the modern equipment, right? That's what I don't understand.
Everything's got inputs and outputs.
Right.
They're just different. They don't have RCA phonos on them. They got wire. They got like a terminal wire block, and you got to connect the wires, the positive, and then the ground wire, or the positive, the negative, and the ground for a balanced audio connection. That's all you got to do. That's not.
But all the movie theater pro stuff there eventually feeds into your AVR at some point.
Yeah, I mean. Sure, the Sony can't do any decoding.
Yep.
Because if I go there, I can't hear any sound now because that's on the SDS mode. Go back to that preset. Now I can hear you guys. That needs a special film print to play SDDS, and there won't be any SDDS delivery.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was SDDS. Cool.
They'll never do it. They'll never do it.
Yep.
But it's still cool as a level meter to see the levels. You know, I buy a flagship called a Denon. Doesn't even have a fancy LED display or anything on it for $3,000. I mean, I'm thinking you get what you pay for, but I don't believe in that. I just believe that they just didn't do their best there, and they did okay, but they didn't do their best. But my finest is the CP200. I mean, that is a holy grail. That's a holy grail to, you know, and it's just cool to own.
Oh, it's very cool stuff. But specifically, say that CP200, is that like a Dolby decoder, or what is that doing?
That's for optical soundtrack, 35mm magnetic, or 70mm magnetic, or you can just pass any other audio signal through it. They've got format switching to switch on noise reduction, Dolby A type, for the type of film prints on optical soundtracks, 70mm A type magnetic, or you have to change the cards out on it for SR cards. For SR prints, that might be 35mm SR or SR 70mm.
Wow.
You ever think of getting any actual, like a 35mm or 60mm actual film in there? Or you don't have the room, or?
Have you seen my kitchen?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to fit that in.
You don't need the refrigerator. Come on,
Yeah,
Andy.
move the fridge.
I don't need a refrigerator. Oh, maybe a small one, like one of the little beer type refrigerators.
There you go.
That's all you need.
Yeah, I can cope with one of those. I have been tempted. I was offered £250 a nice Victoria Cinemechanica projector many years ago for £250. And those brand new would have cost in their day at least $35,000.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this, Andy. If anyone can make it work in that place, you can.
I could. If I was given the opportunity, which I pissed away, you know, because now you look for those. I look for those projectors, and they're like, oh gosh, $2,000, $4,000.
And the prints aren't easy to come by either.
Yeah. I think the rarity on some of them has gone back up a little bit. It depends on the seller. Some people know what they're really worth, and they know that they're never going to be used again. They're going to end up in a skip, get stripped down, melted down for their metals, and that'll be it. It'll either go to a good home, but then I know the score. Film prints ain't going to last.
Yeah, for sure.
and I don't have the room to keep film cans that are thicker than a laser disc.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how many prints it would take for Lawrence Arabia? I mean, the prints would stand this high up on the floor.
Sure.
Yeah, but how cool would it be?
It's a bad influence.
You would need the fridge. You would need the fridge to store them. If you need to store them in the fridge.
Yeah, but you need temperature controlled conditions all year long, and that ain't cheap.
Yeah.
To keep those prints in good condition. Laserdisc, as long as you keep them out of the sun, don't stack Laserdisc on top of them. Keep them in almost a vertical position so they're not too, slanted back. Otherwise, they'll possibly warp. And we all know how to get out the warp. Put 2 pieces of glass between, put some heavy weight on it, leave it for about a few days, and the warp should settle out.
Sit and wait.
Yeah.
Yep. Did you keep all the Laserdiscs from your collection when DVD came along, or did you end up getting rid of them for a bit, or do you still have your original?
Oh, I made that mistake.
Yeah.
I did make some of that mistake, and I was kind of gutted I did, because some of the quality of the sound track I'm going to miss. Picture-wise, it's marginally a little bit better on DVD, but that you don't get too much of the color artifacts, like rainbow colors and such. And other sort of video signal noise. It's like when you got certain lines or certain
like the
images,
aliasing kind of
and
thing.
it looks all jagged, and it's like, oh gosh, what the heck is that? What does a mosquito or the you guys any use of the what do you call it, the upscaling things to improve?
The new thing, Andy, is they have this it's an evaluation board, so it's got the 3D comb filter that comes out of a really high-end Lumagen, and you could buy it on a $200 Eval board, and that gives you like the best comb filtering you could possibly find. So we make our Laserdiscs look really good with that and with other external processors.
Would that top the Denon? Would it leave the Denon in the dust?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay then. Sorted.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look for one.
Yeah, Peter can hook you up with the info. Or
we can
Bill.
send a link.
Yep.
I'll look for one, because I can't say I'm not really impressed with the Denon with what it can do with the video processing. Very basic settings you got on it.
But yeah, the Algolith Mosquito or something like that for noise reduction really helps Laserdisc. I've actually got a Denon processor that does noise reduction really well.
Have you got screen captures like before or after?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's got some I don't know. You probably have some on your YouTube channel, right? Or
yeah, I'll send you a link to my Laserdisc Home Theater. That's me, Andy. If you've seen that.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Cheers.
Very cool. How many discs do you think how many discs do you still have in your collection, Andy?
Oh, about 210, 230.
All right.
So that's very slim compared to Ryan's there at the background.
Ryan's insane.
Can you pan that camera around? Because that's the only angle I always see is it a little bit more above, below,
so
side to side?
We're going to do a little movie magic, because I'm sitting in front of a green screen for work, but it's to my left, so bear with me here.
He's got way more than you see there, Andy.
Yeah.
I have all of these Laserdiscs here, and it goes down to the floor, and I'm hoping you can see all that. So I have all those on the floor, and then we have more over there, and then I got a whole nother room full. So, yeah, I got a few.
Oh my goodness! How many is a few?
I just broke 3,800.
Yeah. How many are in the garage right now?
Those don't count. But there's probably another 1,600 in the garage I need to get rid of.
And he's married, Andy.
How many do you occasionally randomly pick and watch?
Oh, I try to watch at least 5 a week, and I try to watch different ones 3 out of 5 at least. And my goal is to always see something new.
I should more or less try to get back into sort of just pick one out off the shelf that I've not looked in, that I've probably not watched in probably a few years.
Yeah.
I know it's still going to be okay, and it's going to be laser rot free, I hope.
Yes.
For the most part, yep.
I know some of the ones that I have got that do have laser rot, and I know when I checked them year after year, the rot hadn't progressed. It hadn't got any worse.
Same with mine. Yeah.
The worst one I have come across, blind buy on a film on a PAL LaserDisc, was a movie called Flashpoint. It's a 1980s movie. Chris Christopherson. And,
I remember that.
It had a sort of conspiracy sort of thing to it because I saw it first on VHS back in the 1980s. And I thought, whoa, this is a nice tense thriller. But I wanted to get it on LaserDisc, and I was surprised with how good the LaserDisc PAL image looked.
Yeah.
It looked pretty damn good. But sadly, the sound was really getting bad due to laser rot on the analog soundtrack. Typically to near the end of side 1 and near the end of side 2, it got like. You couldn't. That noise was so high you couldn't hear the soundtrack. Oh dear.
Might have been a Philips DuPont pressing. They had a lot of problem with their PAL pressings. A lot of laser rat. Yeah. And PDO UK had a lot of issues. And over here in the States, 3M, Sony had a plant that had a lot of problems. But they never did crack the problem, but.
Yeah, unfortunately, the States one looks like it's a 3M pressing on Image Entertainment, so that's a dice roll.
Yes.
VHS plus.
Yeah, but I had the same thing with mine. If it didn't rot within the first couple of years, they seem to be fine now. So, cool.
So Ryan's got the most LaserDisc here on this.
I would say that's a no.
Maxeene beat Ryan.
Yep.
What?
I have over 10,000.
Oh my goodness! You must have a big.
In this room though, I have 3,000, and then in another room I have 10,000.
Oh my goodness! You keep.
But you have a business.
You keep them in the bathroom, the kitchen, the hallway, everywhere.
She doesn't have a fridge. Priorities, Andy. Come on.
I'll have a fridge. Come on. Oh
man. So what do your neighbors think of when you crank up Lawrence of Arabia in the wee hours?
No,
they mind?
I wouldn't be careless to do it at this hour. I mean, I wouldn't be negligent to do it at this hour because I'd only have my neighbour buzzing my door. I was like, can you turn it down, please? I want to go to bed.
Oh, that's the good thing about being retired, huh? You can do it while they're at work.
Yeah. Daytime is okay.
Yeah. You got some pretty good soundproofing, so that's
soundproofing and what do you call it? Room installation and all that. They're two different sort of things.
Yeah.
Soundproofing, I would need to have. Basically, I wouldn't have a room left. It would be so tiny, you know, because I'd have to have so much to keep out the bass waves going out that way, this way, and that way, and that way, every way. There's no point. There's no point because some cinemas that are spent on soundproofing an auditorium, millions, and yet you still get some sound leakage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the room is absorbed, it's treated and it doesn't echo, I'm okay with that. But soundproofing, I have to put up with what I have to hear on the outside, but the outside can't hear me. It might sound strange. I'd have to play it really loud. I'd have to have the windows open.
Yeah.
And if the sound can get over the road, then really that's really annoying.
Yeah.
As well as the poor buggers below me. But no, I don't do it at that level. Occasionally 75 dBp, sometimes 100, very rare.
Yeah. But, wow. Well, yeah, more power to you. I've seen, yeah, your installation. You did a lot of work putting those JBLs in recently. So,
With a
and
bit
you,
of
how
help.
many speakers do you have hanging above you?
9.
Nice.
And you've
And they're
installed all of
lightweight.
this by yourself, Andy?
Oh no, I had a chap. I had to get a home installer to come around and give me a hand because I was totally not going to be up to doing it, especially if they're lightweight. I could have figured a way, you know, put a piece of wood underneath, clamp, hold something up, so then I could just line up the screws and then screw it all up. But I know I decided to get someone to come around and got it all done in a day.
That's awesome.
Might have cost £100 or something like that, but at least I didn't have an accident and something, you know, something falling on my head and then knocking me off the step ladder and then breaking my foot or toe or whatever, and then having to go down to hospital. So soon I get some help.
Make sure you're streaming so we can call for help if you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just yell.
I do occasionally wonder when I will have another one, but I have anxiety attacks occasionally. I've got an ECG monitor, so I can put on my finger and monitor my heart rate. If it's 90 with 50 over 56 or whatever, or blah blah, that's okay. That's good. But one time it went up to about 130, 140 over because I had an anxiety attack over about 3 weeks ago, and I couldn't control myself for 2 hours. And it felt horrible.
Man, well, we wish you all the best, and
try to relax and watch some movies. Enjoy all that stuff you put together.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with my condition. You guys may calmly relax. I can't.
I know what you're saying, Andy. I spend more time tuning my system than I do watching it.
It is true.
And tuning, just tuning it.
There's all kinds of things that need to be tuned.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I'm always doing it because you always get weather that affects the quality of the air, the sound. If we were living in the Antarctic outdoors, the sound is going to be a lot slower.
Yeah.
And the warmer air, it moves faster, and I'm occasionally really adjusting something and thinking, am I really doing it because of the weather, climate change? I mean, how hot is it in California, Maxeene?
Today, let's see. I believe it's about 80. Let me see what it is right now.
80?
It's in the 80s here on the East Coast.
Yeah.
81 Fahrenheit.
It is 85 right now. Max weather is 85 there.
Good gosh. It's about 24 here today, 24 Celsius. I think that's a little bit less than 85 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it cooled down here at 77 Fahrenheit here on the East Coast.
Whew, it's just unbearable sometimes. Do you guys panic sometimes that do you keep your discs out of sunlight?
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. I got the windows curtains closed, so the sunlight really can't never get to my laser discs, even when it gets over to the east, and by that time the sun level's going down. The west over that way, and so we'll never reach these. They will always stay cool, and hopefully they will play for another 10 years, if not more, depending on the parts.
Yeah,
we're hoping to get 30 or 40 more years, Andy.
We're hoping.
Oh my goodness, we'll all be skeletons by then.
Hey, some of us are young men.
Like the Maxwell skeleton, we'll be still
Sam's
playing
26.
our discs. And,
I wish I was 26. Nice try.
I mean, if we could keep our spindle motors going and the players clean and dust-free as much as possible.
And Bill will change all our capacitors for us, so we're good on that front.
What about improving the state of laser players? Is there any egghead that's clever than me that can figure out how to improve the quality of the parts by, you know what I mean, by changing the parts out and putting other parts in to improve.
Bill's done that with sound.
Yep.
Yeah, you can improve audio. Video is not as easy. You know, you want to try to get the cleanest video signal you can with the least amount of LaserDisc processing on it, and then rely on a modern processor to upscale that instead of, you know, whatever's in the foam filter for whatever player you have. So yeah, the less player processing, the better, especially if you're using outboard processors.
And there's those guys that are trying to replicate the Doomsday project there, that are trying to tap the signal inside the player and then before any processing, and they're trying to make captures of those for, I guess, I don't know what they're going to do with them, but
they're taking the whole RF signal and using a piece of software called LD decode to pull out all the different, you know, channels, the digital analog audio tracks, the video. I believe the AC3 is still something that's being worked on as well.
And also on the Doomsday disc, the actual Doomsday disc, which are some sort of like an encyclopedia. If I explain it simply, there's on the digital tracks, there's actually data. So when you use them in connection to a computer, there was like a data layer there. So that was something that they wanted to preserve. There's this guy Simon Inns. He's like really into this. He actually lives in Sweden. So really nice chap. So
cool.
That was the main goal of it. But then also for people that want to archive LDs.
Excellent.
But mostly to improve the picture, Andy, we use external processing like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, the Doomsday device is more for capturing. And to answer your question, Sam, who knows what people are going to do with them?
Yeah, exactly.
Put them on Plex servers.
I mean, if you can make the image look like that on the TV, because that's like an image, isn't it? You know, they show these nice image captures, and and then like that, and you look at that, and I can tell that
version and
looks really, it doesn't have defects, video noise, and all that.
Chroma noise and everything.
Yeah, and it's like, it's like that. I can,
amazing. Well, thanks for showing us your essentials, your rig, and giving us a little bit of a rundown of what you're running there. We're going to run through the rest of the show. You can either hang out and make fun of us for the rest of the show, or if you,
no, go for it. Shoot, it's your show.
Stick around and give us some commentary on our stuff here, Andy.
Yeah. Feel free to yell at us and tell us we're full of crap when we're doing something wrong.
I'm probably full of crap most of the time.
All right.
I admit that. I admit I'm flawed.
But it's professional quality crap, though.
Exactly. High quality.
Professional.
Yeah. So our next we were going to do essentially a follow-up to our last. We did top lists with horror, and this time we're going to go with science fiction, but with some special qualifiers. You want to tell everyone what that is, Ryan?
Yeah, so we decided to do non-franchise again, non-sequels, non-TV series, spin-offs, reboots, etc.
Yeah.
And the goal is to, maybe find a few gems that people haven't found.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with this format and with us all being huge collectors, we're bound to have a lot of different ones like last time, but we may have some overlap. So, we'll see, and hopefully Trevor doesn't have to, find new discs before we get to them.
Excellent.
Straight in the cat box.
I think we lost Bill. He's just a picture on my screen now. Did he come back?
I'm here.
Okay. I like your mug shot. It looks nice.
My ultra late dinner has arrived.
Oh, okay. We'll start chowing down, and I guess I'll start my my top 5 here. So we're gonna go, science fiction films that are standalone. There's no franchise. There's no sequels. There's no prequels. There's no television show, which of course sadly made me kick off Logan's run. Some of these are quality films. Some of these are not quality films, but there's some sort of a reason why I chose them. So number 5, we're gonna go with Johnny Mnemonic, JM, which is not a particularly great film, but this is a great disc of at least what could have been the film. It's based on a fantastic William Gibson story, and Robert Longo, who was an artist, dove into film for the first time for this film. So it's really high on production design and really low on quality acting in the terms of Keanu Reeves.
Whoa.
But he's totally Keanu in it. Udo Kier's in it, and Diz from Starship Troopers is in it. Dana Meyer, and it's just a really fun film. But this version, JM, is the Japanese release, which was a bit of a grail of mine when I was collecting Laserdisc back in the 90s, because it's got the longer cut of the film, which has more scenes with Takeshi Kitano, also known as Beat Takeshi, whose stuff was cut out of the outside of the Japanese markets, because they're like, yeah, who cares about this guy? So he's got a much bigger role. It's got an entirely different score, and yeah, it's a great
one.
Great bad film, but
plus it doesn't suffer from rot, unlike the US one.
Yes, no rot, because the American version is a prime Sony DADC rotter. This is just something I saw a couple times in the theaters, also based on not literature, but a comic book. Rachel Talalay's Tank Girl. Just a fun post-apocalyptic rant, just romp. It's total 90s. It's got a great soundtrack curated by Courtney Love with, Devo and it's also got everyone. It confuses everybody because it's got the DTS stereo logo on there, which was just DTS's version of matrixed, surround sound using a stereo track, and everybody thinks this is a DTS Coherent Acoustics 5.1 disc, and then they get disappointed when it's not. But yeah, I picked this up from Suncoast, the movie store on opening weekend, and I used to spin it all the time. It's 2.35 to 1, great scope film, and it's hammy. Malcolm McDowell's just chewing up the scenery. Ice-T's in it.
35 or anamorphic lenses?
This, I believe, is anamorphic.
All right.
Yeah, so I don't think it was Super 35
lenses.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking quite a lot of movies back then. I'm thinking, I wonder if that was Super 35, because I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, I think this one was.
It's a poor man's scope version.
Yeah, it's easy. I know. I understand why James Cameron liked it, but yeah, it's nothing beats those actual lenses.
They don't like changing all the lenses round. They just because they got fussy and they just
Also, one thing, the directors that used to shoot on Super 35 instead of scope, they went really fast to digital. Those traders, like Spielberg shot on scope, still shoots on film. The Cameron shot on Super 35, shoots digital.
That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah. So another 2.35 to 1. This one, I believe this is scope as well. But we're going Outland.
Bond in space.
Love this film. Peter Hyams film. Yeah, it's like High Noon in space. It's really good. It's got a very similar feel to to Ridley Scott's Alien, really kind of grimy mining colony with drug use going on there, and Sean Connery is the one space marshal who's not corrupt, and it's got a great cast. It's really awesome. This wasn't my first LD for the longest time. I used to use this really bad pan and scan copy that has rot. But I still have it because I kind of like the artwork or whatever. But Outland is just a really solid, tight film, and they never made a sequel.
Scared me when I watched it first time years ago.
It's
a double night watching Friday the 13th and then Outland, and I couldn't walk in through the hallway at night time because the lights were off. My dad was out. And I was scared, and because it was the Jerry Goldsmith music, it scared me in Outland. And
it's tense.
Today, wow.
Yeah, it's really intense. Like this one is another scope film. George Lucas's THX 1138. Now this isn't the original theatrical from the early 70s. This is the one where because it was cut against his wishes, and then they reinstated those scenes in the wake of Star Wars being a success in the late 70s. So this is, essentially what the original cut should have been. And it's widescreen. My buddy Bill hooked me up with this for, I think, a Secret Santa gift a couple of years ago. So thanks, Bill. And
that's one I want to get.
I never realized it was widescreen because it doesn't even tell you until you look on the back side here. And there's a Japanese release as well, but really, really love this one. And then, of course, Lucas went and added a bunch of special effects in the 2000s.
Yeah,
but-
CGI.
Yeah.
I've got the Blu-ray. I'm not really pleased with looking at
Yeah.
things that are CGI in it, but it's okay as a film still.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And my number one, I didn't go for a lot of the obvious stuff, but I did go with Gattaca.
Yes.
Beautiful score.
Yeah.
Michael Nyman score. Fantastic film. I'm kind of a hit or miss with Andrew Niccol films. Some of his stuff I love, some of it I don't. But yeah, Maxine should love this. Lots of California scenes in it,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's just fantastic. So
Got that on DVD only. Sad ending.
Gattaca. Yes,
Sad
very
ending.
very sad
Yeah.
ending.
Very true.
Very
No
sad.
spoilers.
Yeah, but it's uplifting in a sense. There's that triumph of the human spirit kind of thing, but it's there's a toll. This one's also a known rodder. There's a Japanese version that's out there as well, but this is my copy's nice and clean, so it's good stuff. So that's my number one. I'm gonna throw it over to Ryan.
Awesome. So I went a little bit of different direction and picked some real gems, and
I'm sure you're gonna have some highbrow.
I'm going to start with some highbrow here, and I'll let you see some dice real quick too.
Yeah.
But start with number 5 here, Space Truckers.
I have that on DVD.
You can't go wrong with a Dennis Hopper film where he's in space, and the whole movie is just ridiculous, and it's terrible and amazing at the same time.
Cubed pigs, man.
Andy's befuddled.
I'm trying to think what I've got.
Ryan has unique taste in film.
Number 4, Phantoms.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So,
that was the bomb.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just another. I think it bombed horribly, and it's not terrible, but
I own that.
It's definitely entertaining. I'm gonna go highbrow with this next one. That's Armageddon Criterion.
That's not highbrow.
It says Criterion on there.
Eyebrow right there.
And I know that this is
Highbrow.
kind of like a documentary, but this is just perfect for the era. And
Is that a neat release?
that is a Nate release. And I mean, we shot Bruce Willis into space, and he blew shit up. I mean, you can't ask for more than that. And then I mean, you had Ben Affleck too, and I don't know about that part, but he was good in Phantoms. Number 2, we saw this one last week as well.
Yes.
But this is one that every time I watch it, I get interrupted. I was trying to finish it before the show tonight because it keeps happening. And I had 2 phone calls in 15 minutes, and the player stopped, and I'm like, I'm done. Show's happening. Not going to get it in, but it's just really trippy and really well done. And
You show that again?
Yeah, sure. Hold it up for the group.
yeah,
Existence.
I
yes.
think I've got that.
Yeah, David Cronenberg.
Oh,
No,
Wow.
I think you carry on chatting.
Yeah, see if you have it on Laserdisc, because that's
That
worth
one's
some
worth
money.
some money, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one you can buy a whole new sound system with now.
Yeah,
And then
or a small fridge.
absolutely. And then number 1, I absolutely love this film, Fifth Element. It's
Yes.
it's all over the place. And again, it's Bruce Willis, but everything about this, I think is just a perfect sci-fi film. And
That's my number 1 too, but I didn't want to ruin everybody else's fun time, so I left it off.
yeah, I was worried about that one, but I'm like, I'm going with it. And the Japanese press doesn't have rot issues. The U.S. press, there's 2 different pressings. The one that doesn't have the record condoms or the elephant condoms, that's the one that doesn't have rot if you're not looking at the matrix numbers on the discs. But
Yeah, Pioneer did that one.
Yep. So
And it's nice. It's actually a better pressing than the Japanese one. So
yeah, and I like the Japanese cover better though.
the Japanese cover, yeah, that's the thing. The cover's better, but
Yep.
the Super NTSC pressing on the US disc is better.
100%. Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I'm sorry that I had a double Bruce Willis and a double Ben Affleck, but
That sounds like a fun weekend, man.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna pass it off here to Seth.
Not quite as good as a double Wally.
no.
Nothing is.
So I begin with, I'm going to begin with this one, changing the order a bit. So when I first got into Laserdisc, I got into it in the early 2000s, and then I started collecting films that wasn't available on DVD, or when the director had made changes to the film, particular changes. One of those films was made by a director called George Lucas. THX 1138.
Double dip.
Double dip, yeah. So what can I add to this? So the mix here sound mix is done by Walter Murch.
Yes.
And so this is a film I've seen it a couple times and over these 2 years. So from my first, I had a small phase of LD, took a big break, then I went back and went into ludicrous speed. So then I rewatched it recently, and I have a hard time actually remembering the plot, which is good. So when I rewatch this in a couple of years, it's gonna be fresh for me. But what I do always take away with me is the sound mix of it and all of that radio chatter, and all of that radio chatter on it reminds me of the attack on Yavin in Star Wars, the first Star Wars film that came out in 1970.
100%.
So you're talking about the Phantom Menace, right?
That's not the first one. I'm one of those guys. I wouldn't call it A New Hope either, so I'm calling it Star Wars. I'm one of those people. But
it's great sound. When I was a house techno DJ, I used to have a VHS tape of that in the background on a separate channel, and I would mix it in whenever, because there's all that radio chatter is just so cool sounding.
Yeah, it is. And there's there's some sort of weird line artifact here on this print, I know, but yeah, I really like this. So this is from way back when I first started out, and there's actually another film by George Lucas that he has directed that's been altered, which is in original form on LD, which is like American Graffiti. I think there's changes on the DVD there too, like a sunset or something.
effects at least in one scene at Mills Drive-In. Yeah.
So at that point, I looked at discs and I saw got into sci-fi, and this was one that I knew at that point was only available on LD, and it was quite pricey on eBay in the early 2000s. It's this one, Robinson Crusoe on Mars. So scientifically authentic. So I can give what's fun about this is that science, changes over time. They thought Mars could be like this when this film was made. Then they sent a probe out there a couple of years later. Well, turns out it doesn't have what they thought when they made this film. So it didn't. So it was
scientifically authentic. I like
when it came out. So another cool thing is I know that the Norwegians that they have like a LaserCon, and they played this on the big screen using the Crystal IO 2 and probably like an X9 or X0 at one point. So I know that one guy that used to be big in the Norwegian LaserDisc crowd, Eivind, I don't know if probably he's not watching us, but yeah, he likes this film. But I really enjoy this. This is like sort of campy, and but yeah, it's sort of cool too. It's definitely worth a watch. It's Criterion have a couple of campy sci-fi films in their catalog, and this is one of them, and I really recommend it.
Nice.
So I'm going to move on to another one that I got really early. It's really a favorite of mine. I have 3 versions of this. I'm going to show 2 of them for certain reasons. Forbidden Planet.
Nice.
Yeah. This is also one I got really early. This is the CLV version. I have the quad poster. I used to have that in my living room. So, and here's I got the CAV version, which is kind of like different colors. It's got Leslie Nielsen as a leading man in a not a funny role, So and you can definitely see that this film has inspired Star Trek. So the only thing that is kind of weird that this sort of like space crew is flying in a flying saucer in space, which I don't usually the aliens do that, but yeah, they go to a place and there is a cool robot that can't do things according to Asimov's law, and they try to do that. Try to hurt someone, and it gets like all it tries CPU overload. Yeah, great sci-fi film, and really ahead of its time, I would say. This is when is it from? It's from like 59, right? Or it's like that. Yeah,
lots of references to Shakespeare's The Tempest as well.
Yeah. So. It's probably you would say it's based on that. So, but
yeah, loosely, loosely.
And then I'm gonna do next to last one, right? Yeah. Yes. This.
That's also on my list in my heart. Yeah.
And look how thin this box. Oh, right. This is a CLV edition.
Late.
Finally
release.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's sealed as well.
Look at you.
Yeah, look at that.
Own to own.
Yeah, how do you know if you like it if you haven't unsealed it?
Yeah. No. So I got this. I borrowed this from a friend on DVD many years ago, and I remember watching all the bonus material. To watch a triple box set, which it's just a port of the LaserDisc box set.
Yeah.
And I remember Terry Gilliam saying something that made me react. He probably said Voyager LaserDisc because he didn't say Criterion LaserDisc during one of the he's saying tongue in cheek to come on this Voyager LaserDisc or something like that. But yeah, this is a great film. I didn't like it the first time, and sometimes some films if I like them the first time, yeah, that's it. And some films I will need to rewatch. This was one of them, and I absolutely love this. And you have to see the extended version, which is on Criterion. Yeah, there is another version that was cut down by the studio, and there was a whole mess. So I haven't seen that one, but the documentary about it is kind of cool.
The U.S. version is still okay. It's still got a pretty messed up finale and everything, but yeah, watch out for that TV cut.
yeah. Love conquers all. Love conquers all. So should I do? Yeah, I'll do this one, the classic one. So during also this time when I bought a bunch of discs, I bought films also that I knew were only available in director's cut. So Blade Runner Criterion was one of them. Can't have it here, but another one that I haven't seen. And I had seen the film UHF. I saw UHF with my dad, and he laughed at a joke. And what was that joke? It was a joke about mashed potatoes. And I can also show my T-shirt today.
Excellent.
Yes.
Hey, that's from Russia with Love. Wrong movie.
Whoa, wrong movie. I mean, here it is. It was similar. Okay, here it is. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So I popped this into my LaserDisc player, watched it, hadn't seen it. I knew the three tones and the response from the aliens. And I had a player that could turn sides, and I got a bit confused because it stopped, and then I pushed play, and then I got to see some other scenes, and okay, so I have to manually switch. But I was sucked into this, and I loved it, and it was probably at a certain time, and and I've seen this multiple times. I prefer the theatrical. This isn't quite the theatrical cut. There's one scene with the sky, which is different over the boys' house.
Yeah, there's one shot that's not theatrical. Yep.
And also Bob Balaban, I think that's his name. He's my. I mostly dress in khaki, and I have a khaki hat, so he's my style icon.
And you're multilingual like he is too. So.
Yeah. But I don't speak French that well, but I love this. I have. I don't have any other version of this, but I've got the 4K and stuff. And one thing that they've done here on the 4K, they include all of the versions, so that's good. Yeah, that was it for me.
Excellent choices, sir.
Thank you. Over to Maxeene in California.
Cool. Okay, well, so far so good, guys. We basically don't have too many crossovers for my full set of 5, which
good
I'm
to hear.
Surprised by. I did have a stack of just in case there was crossover ones. So, okay. So I guess it's hard to put these in order, so I'll just go with this one first. But Bad Channels.
Oh,
nice.
I friggin' love this. This was the first full moon title that I ever saw. And it just checks so many boxes for me with just weird alien monsters and rock and roll and just it's great. And I just love this one. And it is a little bit hard to come by, but worth it if you can find it for sure. Killer Music, Alien Airways.
I don't have that one. I need to get that.
Yeah.
That was in my
Those
list.
little blast tubes or whatever they are. They look like something out of Life Force. What year was that?
This is, let's see.
90 something, right?
It says 92 on it.
Oh, all right.
Something about those pods or those tubes. That they got bodies in it. Are they aliens?
Yeah. So in the movie, the aliens here and his robot dude are capturing these women as specimens. Kind of a crazy one. I mean, if you can find it and watch it, I definitely recommend it. The music is definitely good, and it's worth it for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. And then also kind of like alien themed, Cast a Deadly Spell.
Ah, I just heard about that movie for the first time like 3 days ago.
I mean, this is like apparently rare. It's Los Angeles, 1948, where magic is used for everything. And it's kind of like noir, you know, cop kind of vibe. And like his last name's Lovecraft in it, and it's he's like a private eye, but this is a good one. And I watched this a while ago, but I really loved this. And this is from 91, similar time frame, but yeah, the like monster dude in this one is good. The little monster guy. They're like doing a lot of special effects in this, but
Nice.
and then I ended up having quite a few that were like full moon or like Charles Band like styling. I had to really be picky about which ones I was picking, but so Metal
There
Storm.
was a sequel to Cast a Deadly Spell.
I saw that in.
Was there a sequel?
Oh.
Yeah, Witch Hunt.
No, I straight up looked it up. All right,
Yeah,
sorry guys.
I was pretty positive there was, and I just double checked, and it was
All
like,
right,
yeah, it was
well
called
then-
Witch Hunt.
Excuse it, I'll put this one in its place.
There we go. Yes.
Parasite.
My buddy's brother is in this movie,
Nice.
There you go.
and it has insane monster. I mean, obviously, like the big teeth, but like there's like a parasite monster man, and they're trying to like catch him and like find this like serum to like get rid of him. And I mean, it's kind of a slow movie. But by the end of it, it's like all these explosions, and it's great, and it's Demi Moore, so pretty cool.
The monster kind of reminds me of a monster used in the movie Crow. There's a
Oh.
gigantic monster.
I mean, the monster in this gets to be probably about like as big as like a person's like leg. Cherie Curry's actually in that too, and she ends up getting like eaten alive by the damn parasite.
Wow, I didn't know she was in. Huh.
Yeah, it's
Parasite.
a weird, obscure one. So that was in my backup pile in case, because I also just spun that recently too.
Yep.
So okay, so back to Metal Storm.
I saw that in 3D in the theaters, so
Really?
it's a classic.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's so cool.
Opening weekend. Love it.
I got to see the trailer in 35 millimeter at the New Beverly Theater, but I did not get to see the movie.
Oh.
So this is the best I've got. But this one's great. I wanted something Mad Max in my list because I really love Mad Max and like dystopian weird future stuff, but a lot of the ones I had seemed to have sequels, so that was my
That and Space Hunter are classic 3D.
Space Hunter and like Ice Pirates, that was on my list too. I was considering, but yeah, then there was I was trying to verify if this was the appropriate one because dinosaurs are sci-fi or not. So I freaking love dinosaurs, and this has like time travel and like basically like it's like a kids movie, but it's
Time
called
travel
Adventures
counts.
in Dinosaur City, and like the kids kind of use like this like television that the dad has. He's like an inventor guy, and like they transport themselves into their favorite TV show, which is called like Dinosaurs. And so it's cheesy, but it's like, I mean, the dinosaurs are great, and like the special effects of it are great. And I guess this was like a made-for-TV movie, which is crazy to think.
Yeah.
Like they did all that for like a made-for-TV movie, but it's a good one. I love dinosaurs.
And that's the chase version because it's widescreen.
Oh, is this widescreen?
Yes, that's the Japanese one.
Hell yeah. Well, I've been trying to find I watched it a while ago. I don't remember, but I was trying to find the US one, but have never really had luck with that. So Japanese it is. So my number one, this is pretty much one of my favorite movies of all time. First Girls Are Easy.
Yeah, the reissue. Widescreen.
Nice.
The widescreen. I have both versions, but I mean, obviously, the widescreen of this is much better.
Yep.
Is that
It's more
AC3
Jeff
as well?
Goldblum better. Actually, ooh.
Is it? I don't think it is.
No, we're just straight up on
Dolby
the
Surround.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not that great. but I mean, it's a good scene.
It's a Nate release, though.
Yes,
It's a nice reissue.
it is. It's a great version of it. It actually, at the very end of it, it has trailers, and
nice.
some, I believe, some outtakes. So yeah, it says theatrical, deleted scenes. So this one is worth it if you can find it. It is a little obviously harder to come by because it is a late release, but I mean, this seriously, I have watched this movie like 50 or 60 times. Like, I freaking love this movie. The music and like Julie Brown.
Yeah,
and
Julie Brown.
like, I mean, I made earrings that are credit card earrings because of this movie. Like, I love this movie. Like,
Excellent choices.
so, yes, I gave way too many, so I'll pass it to Bill.
I got these aren't in any particular order. It's the first one actually I'm pulling out is probably one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time.
Oh.
Nice.
Yes.
The Running Man, and Sam, this one's special for you. This is indeed an open mat version.
Wow.
So that's not the later reissue either, huh?
No, it's the
Oh, it's remastered. Nice.
They've remastered it in both widescreen and like full screen. And
Okay.
did some comparisons. Definitely open mat. You can tell almost immediately in the helicopter scene. You can see like the whole flight cockpit, and that's in the widescreen. But in this one, you can see like a whole screen that they just like cut out of the frame, which is pretty cool. There's a lot more going on in this, and beautiful picture on it. Great movie.
Awesome score, man.
Yeah. I found that actually locally down at High Energy Vintage.
On vinyl?
Mm.
Oh, damn.
Mr. Axe. So that was great.
Great one-liners in that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Wiley.
Yeah.
This one's one of my favorites as well. I love this dude, Kurt Russell, Blade Runner universe.
Nate Release.
Yeah, Nate Release on one of our last podcasts, but I had to go for it. I really.
Trevor, do you have one for sale?
What's that?
That one's always for sale.
This is a good time. I like Soldier a lot. I'm surprised nobody beat me to this already. This is one of my all-time favorites too.
Yeah.
Classic.
I thought about it.
John Carpenter, Roddy Piper.
I don't own it on LD, otherwise it would have been a contender.
I used it last time, so I didn't want to use it again.
Yeah, I figured it would be here, so I tried to pick different ones.
Are we calling foul on the Soldier because of the Blade Runner connection?
No, we let that slide last time, so I think, or did we? No, that wasn't a horror one. But yeah, we're gonna let that go.
Horror. I say this is sci-fi. This is a serpent kind of terrorizing New York City.
Awesome flick.
Easy effects, but they did a good job.
Very cheesy.
Yeah.
Love it.
I love it though.
I love it too. And this one's kind of borderline horror, but more on the sci-fi side. Videodrome.
Yeah.
It's pretty sci-fi. Yeah.
One of my favorites. There's some wild special effects going on in this.
Oh, hell yeah.
Effects. And this is the version you get. This is the uncut Japanese one. It's also a later release. I think it was like 97 or 98. It's got a great picture on it.
Now, the one there's that Cronenberg box that comes from Japan too. Is Videodrome in that too? Is it?
I don't think so.
No, it's not.
That's not in that. Okay.
No, it's
Dead
got
Zone
the food. What else is in that one?
Scanners and Dead Zone.
Thank you.
And the quality's pretty weak on that one too, right?
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that box is for collectors.
The box itself, not what's in it.
Yeah.
Modern reissue, Red Obi. It's a good one. Yeah.
Nice.
Love it.
And just for fun, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Love that one.
Peter, you're up, man. Let's see what you got.
All right. I'm actually amazed that I made it this far without a lot of doubling up. I went to the trouble of Googling every one of these to make sure that the genre fit. They are all sci-fi.
All right.
I can't guarantee that there weren't sequels, though, because I'm not a film buff. So we'll start out with, and these are in no particular order either, but Deep Blue Sea.
Nate Release.
Nice.
Release.
There's
Sci-fi.
science involved with sharks.
Oh, Google says it's sci-fi.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sci-fi.
Sharks, 235-1. Awesome picture.
Yep.
Love this movie.
Great song by LL Cool J.
2, I actually can't believe no one picked this one.
I believe there's sequels too.
Faculty.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Great choices so far.
Flex.
Nate Release.
This is a Nate Release. It's a cool
School.
movie. Dolby Digital. I think this one's 235. No, this one's 185, I think. But awesome movie, awesome picture. Very important to me to have that. Another one I thought would come up a lot. Last Starfighter.
Yeah, I don't own it on LD. Believe it or
I
not.
have the Japanese version.
I saw it in the theater like 3 times, though.
The Japanese one actually has a cool cover. I've got that too, but this is the AC3. Very cool movie. Love that movie.
Yeah, so 80s.
I had to consult my friend Sam Hatch on this one. He said it was sci-fi, so we're going to call it sci-fi. Akira.
Yeah.
Don't you hate that movie, though? Or was that?
No, I like that's Moiki.
It was Moiki that hates it.
I had to watch it 8 times to understand it, or think I understand it, but I like the movie. It's great.
Yeah, Moiki hates that.
And then I had to one-up Ryan here, Armageddon, but the DTS version.
I have that one as well. I wanted to show the highbrow version.
Seth?
That's that's the theatrical cut. So the Criterion is like a extended cut with some more stuff. So you should have both.
I've got the Criterion also. Honestly, I know this is cheese, but I love this movie.
Which one came out later, though? The DTS probably did, right?
Didn't they all come out on the same day on that one?
Oh, yeah, that could be.
Ooh, yeah, I think it was like July. I have a poster for it in my.
Photo finish.
The picture transfer on that looked pretty fine on the AC3 when I had the AC3 version years ago.
Yeah.
The Criterion's the later release by 2 months.
Okay.
That's actually the best Criterion they ever released.
Yeah.
100%.
So I guess that's it for me. We'll go to Trevor.
Nice.
Oh, it is me. All right. We got a thing. Bill shows it.
Yeah.
They Live. Stars Roddy Piper.
Hell yeah.
You can't say much about this. This is an absolute classic.
Must have.
Then going with a super common that I figured somebody might pick. Going with Demolition Man.
I kicked it off my list at the last second.
I know.
Better live than Laserdisc.
Yeah.
It stars Sylvester Stallone and Jesse Ventura, who was also a wrestler.
Yeah.
So I got 2 wrestlers so far in my top 5.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't beat Demolition Man, no matter what. If that's on, I'm watching it.
Great quotes, man. Great quotes.
Plus,
the 3 seashells.
you gotta use it now for this podcast because the sequel's coming soon.
Ooh, yeah, get it out.
Yeah.
And with The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai.
Yes.
Absolute stone cold classic.
Starring Peter Weller, who was RoboCop, who helped Sting at DC Capital Combat, WCW. So another wrestler in there.
Except this costume fell apart.
Oh yeah, I don't think it was Peter Weller either, but we don't need to tell people that. But no, this is great. Peter Weller, they're like a rock band.
Hong Kong Cavaliers.
Tokyo Raiders, Hong Kong Cavaliers. I said the Red Aliens versus the Black Aliens. If you haven't watched this, you need to watch it. It's cheesy. It's fun.
I just wish there was a letterboxed LD, but they never did one.
Yeah.
Punks.
Then this one I just watched. It was Rutger Hauer, Split Second.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
But this is great. It's just cheesy sci-fi action. You can see in the thing right there the giant alien in there. Basically, it looks like if they made Spawn in like 1989. That's what it was. Or Venom. Like that.
Yeah.
Thing
Oh
is,
yeah.
But Rutger Hauer, his partner in this, pulls his keys out of his pocket, and he has a Lex Luger Galoob action figure for his keychain. So we got another wrestler. In Split
Wrestling
Second,
combo.
Total package.
The total package is in this via Galoob action figure keychain. So this one, I don't know how we made it this far, and nobody has not picked Suburban Commando, starring Hulk Hogan, Christopher Lloyd. This is ultimate, just cheese.
It's definitely
Hulk
sci-fi
Hogan.
because he's done the super soldier serum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He's been saying his prayers and taking his vitamins. So
Yeah.
Look at those
Anabolic
pythons.
vitamins.
he's got the 24-inch pythons. We got it all here.
Wow.
You
Is
also
Mean
got
Gene
Pierced
Oakland
by
in it?
The Undertaker. Oh, it's got The Undertaker
Oh, okay.
at the very end.
Ooh.
He almost
But,
trumps Mean Gene.
Mean Gene Mania. But there we got the top 5, 1 repeat, but I tried to keep my wrestling theme going, so
Nice.
I didn't throw anything in the cat box. But I did have Repo Man here, which I'm surprised nobody put
I know.
in.
I don't
thought-
own it
That
on
was
LD
gonna-
either. I wish I did.
Oh, yeah.
I know that was definitely a contender on my list. Also, I love Howard the Duck.
Yeah, I had to fight between Demolition Man, Virtuosity, and Johnny Mnemonic. I had them in like a battle in my mind.
The wrestling theme didn't pop up. It was like I was gonna have Suburban Commando in there no matter what. Then when I put They Live, and then I was like, Jesse Ventura's in Demolition Man. So then it was like, but once I saw the Lex Luger action figure as the keychain, I'm like, okay, the theme has to go on. So
You could have had
you
Running
gotta
Man
put
in
They
yours
Live
too.
in there.
I know.
I know Running Man was gonna be in there, but I went with Demolition Man instead.
Right.
Do you guys know about the?
I'm gonna pass it to Sam.
Yeah.
I just have one little thing about Demolition Man. So, do you guys know that me and Andy must have seen a different cut of that film? when we
Because
saw
of the
it?
Pizza Hut
Yeah, exactly.
versus Taco Bell.
Exactly. So they have Taco Bell as the restaurant they go to. Oh, Taco Bell. And when I saw it, it was like, let's go to Pizza Hut, because Taco Bell wasn't really franchised in Europe at all. I don't think they were.
Dreamed of that future Taco Bell since I was like 13 years old, man.
Yeah.
You gotta go to the Taco Bell Cantina in Vegas.
Yeah, I want to get a PAL version on LaserDisc just so I could see the alternate Pizza Hut version.
Which one was on the Japanese cut?
I don't have that. Who's got the Japanese LD?
Not me.
I don't.
Anybody? All right, that's your homework this week.
I know.
That could be
Check
Pizza
that
Hut
out.
there too.
Yeah, watch that and find out which one's on it, then report back
What if
next.
it's KFC?
I'm sure they got it on YouTube.
I'll report
Yeah.
back later.
I'm sure they got a clip of it.
Yeah.
If there is, I never heard
Yeah.
of that.
But yeah, I guess the Taco
Pizza
Bell
Hut.
just
I'm not sure,
was
man.
too obscure. Well, excellent choices, everybody. Hopefully I'm still in frame. I haven't seen myself in a while, but I think I'm still in frame.
Panama Jack's still there.
Good. Yeah, my hat hasn't fallen off. But yeah, so we're going to do our usual recent pickups, limit to 15, and swag and players count as well. Anything LaserDisc related. I did pick up a player that I'm not going to show you. I'm doing a special video as well about it. But the day after the podcast, I drove and we did it like super, coronavirus free. I parked in the driveway next to his house. I popped the trunk and he ran out with his mask on and threw the player and a bunch of stuff in my trunk.
Whoa.
And I drove home and I hooked up that Sony player and I've been messing around with it ever since. So cheers to everybody who was involved in the raffle, and cheers to Bill and Peter for making this happen. And I did steal a bunch of stuff that was Peter's, and I watched it. So you're going to see some of that a little bit later or hear about it. So I saw some Muse action. We'll get on that in a little bit. So
for Andy, that's actually the secret to LD picture quality. It's get away from Pioneer and go to Sony.
Yeah, I've got a Sony high definition player that has a very, very nice picture quality on NTSC discs as well. But pickups, I got a ton of stuff in the mail. Every time we complain about the post office or the slow boats getting held up and customs on this podcast, it ends up kicking them free. The couple days after. So I got a ton of stuff in the mail. I'll be very brief, but this I saw somebody talking about not too long ago. The Big Blue. This is the American cut. It's not letterboxed, but come on, focus.
Mhm.
But it's got the alternate Bill Conti score, and this was an upgrade from my old VHS copy that I had bought. But the letterbox, long version is also available from Japan, and I have a PAL copy as well. I also got a lot of American discs from Japan. I love getting American discs from Japan because they're minty, because everyone treats them well there. So I got History of the World Part 1, the widescreen version, and I got the director's cut of Abel Ferrara's Dangerous Game, which I don't know if this has been ported over on DVD or anything else, but Harvey Keitel plays a crazy guy like he does in any Abel Ferrara movie he's part of. But this is post Bad Lieutenant, but before The Addiction, I believe. But Madonna's in it as well. Harvey Keitel's like an unhinged movie producer or director, and he's a bad gentleman. And I had to get this thing, my first DiscoVision disc, Sgt. Pepper's, just because DiscoVision discs usually look grimy and nasty, and I knew I can get a nice minty one from Japan. Even the spine's nice and strong.
Wow.
This is the first time I was introduced to LaserDisc when I was hanging out at my dad's rental store in the early 80s, and they had a little Magnavox player and a DiscoVision kiosk, and this one of the sides of this was just playing on repeat all day long. So I had to revisit my childhood and pick that up. And what else? It was a sealed. The hype stickers actually stuck to it still with static. Albino Alligator, Kevin Spacey film. I know he's persona non grata now, but I always wanted to check this out. It's a killer score by Michael Brook, which I love listening to. So, and my last sealed disc. This is a twofer. I got Wim Wenders' End of Violence, a relatively late release. This is an upgrade from my VHS copy. And I really, really wanted to get the Japanese cut because Wim Wenders has like multiple cuts of his movies a lot of times. Criterion just came out with Until the End of the World, which is like hours longer. And I kept hearing about a Japanese release, which is like 20 minutes longer. So I got that as well. But the fools on whoever posted on LDDB is completely wrong. If you look on the back, like in the indicia there, it says 122 in tiny print right next to the 148 or so. All the extra minutes are just interviews and behind the scenes things. So I'm still happy I have it for the interviews and whatnot, but the movie is exactly the same length. So I guess I have to go on LDDB and do some correcting. Also grabbed Necronomicon. This is a classic. When I used to buy bootlegs back in the 90s from this guy, he would always be selling this, and I saw this on cable and loved it. I'm a big H.P. Lovecraft fan, and it's an anthology film with Jeffrey Combs playing H.P. Lovecraft, and some of the stories are very loosely based on H.P. Lovecraft stories, but David Warner's in one, and it's widescreen. It looks very nice, actually. So I think there's a German Steelbook Blu-ray out there now, but I've always wanted the Japanese one. Also got another copy of Terminator. No reason other than I love this cover.
Yes.
And it actually, I swear the mono audio on this thing is actually better than the one on the THX disc and the American one. But the only downside is it's not letterboxed, but yeah, I'm going to have to do a little back and forth, but there seemed to be a lot more low end to the analog audio on this sucker. So I'm going to, oh no, I mean, it's actually digital, but yeah, it's mono, but the way it should be. And sounds great.
I don't like that remix they did.
Yeah, it's horrible.
The Dirty Harry gun when it's like gunner, and the gun sound effect. Oh, what?
Yeah, they ruined it. Yeah, don't get that.
I don't play it much. I will just play the THX mono version.
Yeah, I have it, but same thing. I also got a late release 1999 reissue of Soylent Green widescreen edition.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a widescreen Japanese one.
Yeah, so I was very excited to get this. So
what's it made out of?
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to spoil it.
Soylent Green.
Yeah, you're going to have to find out for yourself.
That's why the cover's all green.
Yeah, and I also got finally Industrial Symphony No. 1, which is very artsy David Lynch musical performance piece with lots of music by Julie Cruz and Angelo Badalamenti. It's a nice counterpart to Wild at Heart and Twin Peaks, etc. And what else? I'll trim a few things off the fat. But I got a couple boxes. I know you guys all have these already, but I never did have the Back to the Future box, so I got a very minty copy of this. And
nice.
Too bad they didn't redo that in AC3.
I was talking about that in one of my videos. I was really surprised there wasn't like a signature collection release with AC3. There was an AC3 reissue of this, but I still had to get the box, the Japanese Dune box. I don't know why I didn't buy this years ago, but it's got the It's got the TV cut as well.
They've already done that, haven't they?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. I got some focus here. But yeah, there was a widescreen AC3 that came out a couple years in the States after this, but I still had to get that. And finally, this, I talked myself out of it at first because I don't think the second box ever came out, but American Gothic Fear 1, one of my favorite TV shows from the 90s, next to, X-Files and Briscoe County Jr. and things like that. But it's produced by Sam Raimi, and Sean Cassidy actually was the show creator. Really, really good stuff. It's like a small town with the sheriff's essentially Satan, and there's a Lucas Black plays this kid that's trying to live his life after his family's torn asunder, and Gary Cole plays the sheriff, and he's just super, super evil, and it's a huge, gorgeous box set. There's tons of ads for a sequel box, but in fact, in my little shipment, I got the ad for it. 9/22 release of the American Gothic box, and then on the back, it even has the release date for this right there. I think it mentions the release date of the second box, which is supposed to come out in 1997, but I don't think it ever did. So, and then he threw in a Willow LaserDisc ad too for the release of that. So if you want to go, there's a store down here. You can call them up and reserve your copy of Willow when that comes out.
Sorry, nobody here.
Yeah, I know, right? So that's it for my pickups. I'm gonna pass it on over to my man Ryan.
Excellent. So I was lucky enough to get a Broterian box monthly today from Trevor, and he hooked me up with Fist Fighter.
Yes.
So I haven't seen this yet, but it's VHS Plus. It has fists and fighting. So I mean, I'll be watching it next week. Don't doubt me. And then
I doubt you.
I mean, I hope, unless I file it with the rest, and I'll find it in a year. And then the Grubs were selling some laser discs from their collection on Facebook. They run a record store south of me. So I picked this bad boy up, and I had never scored one of these, and I don't know how.
Oh, that's nice.
Good.
So it's a later release. I think it's 98, and I'd never scored a copy, so I kept getting the pan and scan and selling it because I'm like, oh, I'll find a regular one, and just never did. But I was really happy about that. So I'd been looking for it for a while. And I think we even had a thread about it in our chat. I was like, does anyone have this? And no one had an extra. And so it was really cool. And then I picked up a couple more Hong Kong things. This is one of them. It is Down, Out, and Dangerous. It's only available in this release. So really cool piece.
Any stars we know?
I mean, it's got Richard
Thomas. Got that guy. Okay, yeah, that is Richard Thomas.
Yeah, so I couldn't tell you what he was in, and I looked it up, and nothing really rang a bell or stuck out, but he's been in a few things. So that's
John Boy from
John Boy
the Waltons,
which is why I've never. now this one I'm really excited about. Raging Angels. That's our boy Sean Patrick Flannery.
Excellent.
Cover. So another Hong Kong, and there might be a Singapore release, but this is really cool, and I'm looking forward to this. And I guess it's a horror movie, but it has a really low rating, so it's probably really, really good.
Some sort of lizard dude there in the back.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I mean, if it's got a low rating on IMDb, it usually means it's a better movie.
That's how that works, huh?
Yeah, I think that's what I've found out. So I have a little story to tell about getting LaserDiscs from Japan before I introduce this next one. So I had a box that was coming, and I got a call from FedEx, and I had to fill out a customs form to declare that I wasn't importing anything obscene, anything that was inciting insurrection or anything like that. And they wouldn't release my shipment until I sent them back the form signed with my name on it. So that was a new one on me, and if you've run into it, it's annoying because I mean, they're laser discs. I don't think we're pressing pirate ones to start a war anytime soon, but maybe.
I thought maybe you were torturing people with your low-grade Broterian discs, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, who knows? But definitely cool. So I picked this one up. This is a 91-92 Untouchables, Michael Jordan and the Bulls, and I grew up watching the Bulls. So I'm really looking forward to this because I don't know if I've ever seen one of these before.
Nope.
And so it's got some games and some highlights. So that's going to be really, really cool.
Clearly
Hopefully,
contraband.
hopefully it shows the Bad Boys Pistons.
Those chumps. So and then this one, this is volume 1 of the Inoki series. So I had numbers 2 and 3. And I had to get number 1, so I'm now complete. But
Got some Hogan on that one?
I don't see him on the back. I know he's on number 2. So if you're looking for premium Hogan, he's definitely on number 2. When he was actually wrestling, unlike the U.S. versions where he just flexed a lot.
Oh, do we have a laser kitty? I think I see Maxine.
Hogan must pose.
Aw.
This I got. It was an upgrade for me, and it'll lead us to one of our questions later. I didn't have the Obi on this for some reason, and I snagged another copy, and so I got rid of my Obi-less one, and it's got Bill Goldberg in it. So you can't go wrong with a Bill Goldberg film. I mean,
John Claude's wearing his PPE there, I see. Got to wear your glasses. Keep your eyes protected.
I got this one for everyone else, but no, I got it for myself too. Some nice Aussie.
I think I sold mine to Altman for some reason.
Yeah, I saw this pop up, and it was cheap, and you know, it's amazing because people aren't looking for them, it seems, and they'll pop up, and you get them way cheaper than eBay. So
Fat Aussie is the best Aussie.
Definitely. And then got this bad boy, Night Watch.
Oh,
It's
excellent.
Japanese only AC3.
I mean, the original movie was better, but that's still good.
Yeah. Sticking with the tune of Japanese only,
Great
Cat of
film.
Nine Tails. I've never seen it, so I'm really excited about it.
It's really good, Argento.
And then this one's been in my list for a while. The Return of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the real sequel. So this is the real sequel, not the other sequels.
Oh, okay. Just in case you were confused.
It says it, so it has to be true. But this one's one of those weird Japanese only releases that like, you know, everybody wants to complete their collection.
Is that the McConaughey Zellweger film?
Yeah, it's like 14 minutes uncut, and it's the only version that's that long.
Okay.
Yeah, they cut out some like gritty death and like violence stuff that's not on the Blu-rays.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of a chase disc these days, it seems. So I was surprised.
Because it's the longest cut. That's a good pickup.
And then moving into the Nate release territory, I'd been looking for this for a while, and I opened up the bank account, and
I was gonna say Moiki, I know,
Moiki
dropped some
style,
coin on that.
I felt like I got a really good price on it, and it's with the Obi and everything. So this is definitely one I wanted for a while, and I never thought I would find. And if this was on eBay, I probably wouldn't have been able to afford it because it's stupid expensive sometimes.
I think I know what's next.
Nope, not quite.
Not quite.
Not quite. One more I pulled off this week.
I don't have that yet.
Yeah, so this one's definitely really sought after, and I snagged it because I was willing to pay whatever they told me. So I've had my eyes on it, and this has been just a crazy run of good luck this past couple of weeks, and this doesn't happen regularly, I swear. But the visual soundtrack, so for those of you who are completists, this is the piece that you're usually missing.
Yep.
And
Seriously.
it doesn't come up in the U.S. or Japan for that matter. So, I got one more Japanese release followed by something else. This one, Peter made famous, I believe. I'm sure you've heard of Stigmata.
Wow.
I ran the gamut on the Nate releases.
You guys
And
start being nicer to our listeners. I keep getting all this feedback. Like I watch the show and I feel bad about myself and my collection. You're gonna cause all this depression, man.
Yeah, so
Dial it down. Throw a
they
comment in
should.
there.
When
Okay.
you buy 1,000 a week, you're bound to get a couple good ones.
Yeah.
Hey, I haven't bought a collection for like a month now, or 3 weeks or something.
I'll put the depression hotline logo at the bottom with the number.
yeah. And
Ryan's
then,
collection is making you sad.
Ryan
And-
single-handedly changed the Chicago LaserDisc market.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, you kind of did.
I've put a lot of
He
effort
also
into it and a lot of
created,
miles.
He created the Hogan market too.
You didn't get that locally, did you? Did you have to wait for a slow boat or
the Stigmata?
Yeah.
No, that one came from Japan along with the beach at the same time, and it was
Wow.
like I was waiting for it to hit the proxy for like 3 or 4 weeks, and I was just
Wow.
I was going nuts. Like, is it coming?
You're
'Cause
not
I-
giving up the source for that one, are you?
No.
No.
So how are we going to top Stigmata?
All right, so I made a trade with one of the LDF members. You guys probably have seen Derek Stewart post.
Yes.
And he had posted something, and it was really cool. And I came up with something he was really looking for, and I ended up with this bad boy.
Nice.
So I had to top it with, as far as we know, one of a kind Hogan. So this is more
Incredible.
premium Hogan. This is about as
No,
rare
you-
as it gets for Hogan. Besides Secret Agent
Secret
Club.
agent.
I
And,
believe that's got the theatrical mix, Andy.
This actually has a undocumented AC3. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so
out the fucking street.
Oh no.
Fucking Christ.
I think it's a Singapore release. I haven't watched it to confirm
huh.
and compare with the US
come
one,
here.
but you know, when Premium Hogan comes up, you got to spring for the Premium
get it.
Hogan. And
Wow.
that's why we do this podcast, is to, you know, make the Hogan market just be unobtainable for the average human being. No. So I made a really awesome trade, and I'm really happy. And I just got it live on LDDB like maybe yesterday. So you can look it up, and I got to submit the photo yet because you know how that goes. But
That's Hogan with the 16-inch pythons.
you know, sometimes he's just not flexing, so they look 16 inches. But
Sometimes he's not gassed up.
the mass is there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So
Needs more vitamins.
those are my pickups. I didn't have much this week,
They're
but
pretty disappointing. I don't know. You got to ramp up your game.
I'm just gonna quit collecting now and pass it off to Seth.
Yes, I got this in the mail. I bought this. So there's been a lot of people have been ripping on the Pride of Sweden. So I got more ABBA gold.
Or ABBA.
Yes.
More ABBA
Excellent.
gold. Yeah.
You weren't given a copy when you were born?
Nope, I wasn't. I bought the CD ABBA Gold when it came out. It probably is like 94, 93. And like nobody. So they're not that big in Sweden.
What's
So
with
they're
those strange letters? Is that like satanic or something? What's going on there?
Yeah, it's a secret
Yeah.
message.
Yeah,
That doesn't
it's,
look very copacetic to me.
Yeah, yep. It's
It's actually a reference to Buckaroo Banzai in the middle there.
Yeah.
so to
Big
be
black.
honest,
Is it the Swedish Illuminati?
Yep. And the ABBA is also a pickled herring company where you can buy a pickled herring. So they had to ask, the pickled herring company or that they did like fish products. Can we use your name in our group? And yeah, so it's similar to like how Apple Computer asked the Beatles to use Apple back in the day, but reversed. But okay, so more ABBA Gold is like scraping bottom of the barrel. So this is like a single-sided disc, and like. The CD has more tracks because there weren't any probably any videos for the tracks on the CD. The only thing which is kind of fun is like the director of some of these videos, and perhaps all of them, is Lasse Hallström.
Oh, nice.
He became famous and got an Oscar nomination for My Life as a Dog.
Yep.
Then he did What's Eating Gilbert Grape, something to talk about. And his career has gone become really, really, really cheesy. Recently, he made a film with Dennis Quaid. Yeah, Dennis Quaid, where it's like about a dog that gets reincarnated and stuff.
Yes.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
He had a brief television series over here too. I think it was called New Amsterdam, which they have a new television series called New Amsterdam that's not related, but it was actually pretty good. But
Okay.
it tanked after like 6 episodes.
Yeah, well, he's like a decent director, but many of his films are very like cheesy. And there's one about like an Indian restaurant that opens in France, and there's like Helen Mirren plays like the owner of like the fine dining restaurant across the street. It's okay, but his I think Gilbert Grape is probably his highlight in his U.S. film career, and then My Livestock. And he did a lot of cool stuff with in Sweden back then. So I actually sent an email to the Criterion Collection if they could re-release some of his older films, because he did also ABBA the movie, which is a concert movie, and that was one of the earliest film in Sweden that uses Steadicams. That's really early. That's like probably about the same time as Rocky, which was one of the early films with Steadicams. So let's wait a little bit to go. Let's go over to Maxeene, and then we'll talk about other packages and things.
Okay.
Yeah. Go over to Maxeene.
Okay. I'm gonna grab my stack here. Well, actually, I guess I should show. Other people are probably going to get their shirts.
I got that one.
Specially scented.
Yep.
Yeah. And then here's the blue one too.
Nice.
I almost bought one of those. That's awesome looking.
And I have it, so it's kind of like aged on the Pioneer in the back.
Yep. Some cracks there. Yep. That's cool.
But I'm so stoked. This feels super soft. This one's kind of a little heavier material, but that's how I wanted it to be. I wanted this one to be like more the vintage feel. So stoked on those.
And some of them sold out like really fast, and I'm so glad for you. It's like some people were complaining about price and stuff, but I'm so glad for that. So I wanted to buy a medium. I would just wanted to, because European and medium, can be different from US medium. So
medium.
Boom. Yeah. Well, medium.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Son, we don't know about.
Yeah. Doing cardio over there?
No. Well, a US medium is probably like a European large.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey, here we go, Andy.
Andy,
yeah.
Take
it off.
X's over here.
Oh, he's putting on his LaserDisc shirt. There you
Oh,
go.
excellent.
Andy's got an OG one.
Hell yeah.
Respect.
There you go.
It's a little bit too
Nice.
short.
That might be a medium.
I like it.
Yeah, it needs extra large. It doesn't fit.
Looks
It
good,
really
Andy.
shows my physique, my bulge.
Yeah.
and
Got to show off
overweight.
the 6-pack. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lay off the Scotch eggs.
No, I like this one. It's not been worn, so it's still okay-ish.
Looks great.
I know they got lots of more on eBay, but just trying to find the really classy-looking, colourful ones, like what Maxene's got.
Yeah, I've got plans to make more different ideas also, and I'm gonna do the Flippy the Turtle one out.
Yes.
I noticed
Probably
you
the
got
next round.
you got something there in the background, Pioneer with a bird.
Oh, with the parrot there.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
this
the
is my
parrot.
jacket.
Yeah.
Sure, you want to see that? I'll show it.
He's the karaoke bird, right?
The next batch is scratch and
It's
sniff,
the
right?
karaoke bird.
Yeah. Yeah. Laser karaoke.
Nice.
Yeah, I have the pins
Oh,
on
that's
my
cool.
belt too that match.
Oh, well, look at you.
Yeah. And I put the little palm tree for effect.
Laser swag.
That's my.
Yes.
Keep it classy.
And they do the turtle one as well, of course.
Yeah, I want a turtle shirt.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a turtle shirt for sure. It'll be kind of probably the same feel as the blue. I think I'll do that same shirt, the soft style, in kind of like a custard, like light yellow.
Yep.
More accurate, screen accurate to the scenes that we see when you get that screen.
I want the other black shirt too, with the kind of orange looking.
Yeah, the
I'm gonna get
reddish
that one
orange
done.
kind of
Yeah,
one.
that one.
That's on my list for probably at the same time as the turtle one.
Excellent.
And I'll probably make more of the blue at that time too, or whatever people need restocked, because I was just kind of dipping a toe into the concept of making shirts, because this has been kind of like a pipe dream idea for me that I've always wanted to do, and I'm just so like ecstatic that they turned out, and that they turned out as good as they did, and
Excellent.
Would it have anything like on words like you know, content is on other side?
Yeah. It'll be the
Could be
turtle.
like a front, something at the front, something at the back of the t-shirt too.
Oh yeah, it'll have the turtle, and it'll have like the writing that you see on the screen, which is the, flip it over.
Contents on the other
Recorded
side.
on the side.
I usually like the turtle, to see whether there's a turtle there. And often it's a CAV side when it's, are they all usually CAV when it's the turtle on the other side of the
Yeah,
disc?
they're usually always CAV. Yeah.
Not CLV.
Yeah.
Not CLV.
Yeah, I think they're usually CAV, I think. Because I usually see the counter running, like the frame counter.
Yeah.
So what do you get for discs?
So my discs, I actually got a decent amount here. I'll start with a cool one. This is widescreen Gumball.
Excellent film.
I feel like must have seen this. My dad's like hugely into cars, and so I must have seen this when I was a kid, but I don't
saw that
really
in the theater.
remember it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this.
It's really good.
Try and get him to watch this with me.
Yep.
And then I got just kind of a weird kind of I'm guessing some sort of advertising imagery.
Ooh,
which I just thought
animation
was
stuff,
really
huh?
cool. Yeah, kind of. There's a whole series that's the world of, and then the different creators of different whatever the topic is. But they always have this little triangle in there. I think there's maybe 4 or 5 of them, but this one just looked really interesting.
Are these local pickups, Max?
Most of them are. A couple of them are from the Flea Bay, but most everything else is local. And then I got Dive Watching, which just looked interesting.
Sleaze.
Is it?
I think so.
It looks, based on the little film strip here, maybe so, but.
Great jacket, though. I love his face.
Yeah, I know, me too. He just looks crazy. I'm probably going to watch this pretty soon. This is this definitely looks interesting. And then this I had never even heard of, and I really love
Warhol and Herring, huh?
It's Warhol and Keith Haring. And this is kind of an interesting thing because each segment is only 28 minutes, and it's only a single-sided disc.
I see a VPI.
So, but looking forward to this for sure. This should be cool.
CAV or CLV?
Let's see if we can see quickly. I don't see it on here.
Can you see it on the disc itself?
Oh,
yeah, maybe it's a standard play or something.
Let's see.
Yeah.
No,
if you
just
can't see that.
It says COV on LDDB, but that's not.
Oh yeah, CLV.
And you can always look at the disc itself because you can always tell because it got little square.
Yeah, the actual structure. Yeah,
that's right.
Of the data. Yeah.
Maybe they do. So you can see frame by frame by frame by frame.
Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got a couple more. I'll be quick. This incredible story disc. I've never heard of this.
Wow.
That's cool.
Whoa.
It's really interesting. I'm not sure if this is a game or what this exactly is, but I love stuff like this. Love weird, obscure, anything cartoony. There's this cool octopus on there. I'm into it. I'm feeling
Never
it.
seen that.
Yeah, me neither. That's and then I think this is probably a sexy comedy. But we've got
where I've seen that somewhere, but
yeah, I have never heard anything about this. Anything all too
weird science.
Cool.
But
It's like a Broterian.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it fits that. And then one more cartoon disc, Secret Squirrel.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Hanna-Barbera action.
Yes. And this is sealed, so I'll be cracking the seal on that for sure. I used to watch that. I remember they used to do Dexter's Laboratory, and they would put Secret Squirrel in there. So I remember watching Secret Squirrel as a kid. And so I have, this is kind of like a triple set, but the person messed up and sent me someone else's and then sent mine to them. So I'm missing one of them. But this is weird Scholastic software kind of thing. It's called History in Motion. It's a box set. This one is just blank on the back, no clue.
Wow.
CLV, CAV.
Does no information whatsoever. All we know is what's on the front here. It's
You
sealed.
gotta
I haven't
open it
opened it yet. I'm gonna
I
open
always, I almost wonder if it's CAV with that's supposed to be used with the barcodes for those like
I'm trying to
industrial
feel like
players.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
This is Restless Earth. This is a
Huh.
National Geographic one, and then the last one that I have that we'll eventually get here is dinosaurs, and it's
Gotta
also
have dinosaurs.
Yes, I
Are you
freaking love
hoping they're gonna be-
dinosaurs. I'm
Are
looking
you
forward
hoping
to
they're
that.
going to be laser rock free?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like this probably just looks kind of like later in time. I'm not sure. I don't know. But let's
Pioneer
hope.
logo, Prespa Pioneer.
Yeah, here's the Pioneer logo on it. It's the
So,
but it's just
Do you
like the,
guys get many cracked laser discs?
I haven't. A lot of people on
No.
the LaserDisc Forever forum, they get cracked ones all the time, but I've
I
never
haven't
had that
one
problem.
I hadn't had one in quite a few years.
I
Yeah.
think that everybody posts the cracked laser discs they get and not the regular ones they get all the time.
Yeah.
How
Like-
did the packing? How did the
Yeah.
packing come with all these laser discs?
Yeah.
Was the packing pretty good?
Yeah, I get good packing, but
yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest, on those box sets, they were just wrapped in brown paper, and it's
What?
like to me. So
That's exactly how my
Wow.
first arrival laser disc arrived. Broken.
well, they don't. I haven't opened them yet. I mean, it's a sealed
Yep.
copy, so let's
Oh.
fingers crossed on that. But
yeah.
What happened to bubble wrap and extra cardboard on top and
nope, they
a
just
bit of extra more bubble
brown
wrap and
paper, slapped the
cardboard?
label on it, called it a day, and then shipped
Yeah.
my dinosaurs to the wrong person.
Well,
But next podcast, I hopefully will have some very exciting things coming from Japan.
and some dinosaurs.
Yes, dinosaurs.
Is that the PBS disc, the dinosaurs one?
Well, it says Scholastic Software on it,
Oh.
so I'm not really sure. I think it. I mean, it could be. There's nothing about these specific ones on LGDB, so I have no idea. Like, I'll totally add whatever I can up to it, but that's. I mean, the dinosaur one is very interesting. I'm hoping that it's new information that isn't on all the other dinosaur discs that I own.
Awesome.
Nice.
So, yeah, I think that's all of them. So I guess I'll pass it to Bill.
Yeah. So my first pickup, you guys can probably see it back there. Not the top one. The
Yes.
Is that a Sony?
camera. Yeah, it's a Sony. It's a Sony C1.
Nice.
Like the one that we repaired for Peter a couple weeks ago. He was nice enough to send me a laser that did the trick on another parts unit that we had over here, and got that guy going. So yeah, that was kind of my big pickup for the week. And then I got a few movies, a few Muses. We got Far and Away, iVision Muse.
Fancy.
Yeah, kind of highbrow.
Yeah.
But
Tom Cruise's high quality Irish accent.
Yeah. I watched that in school, so it's highbrow.
if you see it in school, you know it's highbrow.
You know it's highbrow.
We got Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Nice.
Classy.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I got Out of Africa on
Ooh.
Wow.
Man, it's keeping highbrow, Bill.
It's very highbrow right now.
But they look good.
Can you guys wake me up when we get past Bill?
I got an ultra rare one. You don't see this very often. Twins.
Wow.
There we go.
That's a hard to find one there.
You won Ryan back.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Bill, it's missing the hype sticker. You might as well just like send it to me and try and find another one.
Actually, we've got Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh, my favorite.
iVision Muse.
With the sticker.
With the
I love
sticker
it.
every time. We've got Legends of the Fall.
Hey, it's not the last we're going to hear of that.
Also with the sticker. That's
Yes.
cool. I love these Muse stickers. They're humongous. Can you guys
They're
see that?
ridiculous.
Oh, it is right.
Yeah.
It's like a 3-inch sticker.
They're so sick. They did that in lieu of OBI.
Oh, thank goodness I'm right.
Yep.
We've got Silence of the Lamb.
Wow.
Also
Killing it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Wolf.
Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah.
Yes.
I never
I've only
liked that
got
movie,
I've
but
only got that on Laserdisc.
yeah.
Not that great of a movie.
Yeah,
no,
it's
I
not
like
that
the
great.
Laserdisc. It's like, okay, on
Love her.
Laserdisc.
Muse, so it gives it like it's watchable.
Own to own.
Do you get much laser rot on Muse Laserdiscs?
A little.
Sam?
We're going to talk about that shortly.
That's the only known rotter.
Yeah.
At least the only one that I've encountered so far. My final pickup in these past 2 weeks is the Grail of all Grails for High Vision.
Nice.
We got a Jumanji here. Doesn't have the OV on it. I'm fine with that. I just wanted to get this guy in the collection.
Kind of different graphics too, like than the usual Muse.
But pretty cool graphics. It's such a skimp for like a Muse release. Look at this. It's
Whoa.
Thin.
It's a regular old disc.
What is that?
It comes with a book strip. There's a single black and white insert. It's not even color. It's single-sided. Not color. All the other Muse discs have like dual-sided color, like gatefold sheets with them. This one is just like a regular old insert.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about the disc, but it's a beautiful transfer. This one uses the Muse 2 encoding, just like Showgirls.
Oh, cool.
Significantly better than the rest of the Muse titles, and as a result, there's like no Muse noise on there, which is it's mostly pixelization that you see it as. Great copy of this movie. Fun movie too. Watched it kind of recently.
Nice.
Yeah, that's those are all my pickups. What do you got going on, Peter?
Well, my first thing that I got was lasers
That's a laser. Is that the Chinese batch?
for the Sony C2EX.
Nice.
Wow.
2 and a third. So if you guys are trying to build a Sony player, they're actually available out there now. You just got to find them.
Oh, and there's probably a whole batch more of them in a warehouse somewhere.
Yeah, we thought they were out for a while, but then some more popped up. So
Excellent. I'm glad they showed up finally.
I found at a flea market, which we go to a lot, but I never really find any laser discs. Winner by a Hair. It's Bugs Bunny.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Fine for a couple
That's
bucks.
highbrow, right?
Yeah.
Is that highbrow now?
I think that's highbrow.
This one was sitting on eBay. I kept watching it, and finally the guy lowered the price to like $10 or something. I've never seen it. I don't even really know what it is. I know it's Rowan Group, so it's got to be cool.
Oh yeah.
Orson Welles,
Franz Kafka
widescreen.
action. That's
Gold.
highbrow.
Yeah, it's very highbrow. I have it.
If Seth has it, you know it's too highbrow.
And then from the Grubs, who were very nice and sold me some really nice stuff. Nosferatu
Ooh.
widescreen.
Nice.
Werner Herzog.
Original uncut German version with English subtitles must be good.
That's a nice run release.
That's a Nate release.
Is that
Yeah.
a Nate release?
That's a Nate release.
Batman OG movie.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Isn't that a Nate release too?
Ooh,
Yeah, I think that's an earlier.
Yeah.
I think is that Pan and Scan or?
Yep.
yeah.
Ordered
Open
from
Maps.
or during the last podcast, and it finally arrived. Misery.
Oh, where's Altman?
Yeah.
I know.
He's
rub
wrestling
it in.
gators somewhere.
And this is the last one I got from the Grubs. I really like this one. I've been looking for this one for a while. I watched it actually. The
Ooh.
Wall.
AC3?
AC3.
Excellent
Nice.
release.
Amazing sound. It
Yeah.
really knocks it out of the park.
Wait,
And then we'll move on to the ones that Bill is a very bad influence on me.
He's a bad influence on everybody.
Dances with Wolves,
Ooh.
Muse. I've actually owned this before, but we found a couple of spots where these things have been really reasonably priced these days. Silence of the Lambs
Nice.
Yep.
sticker. Same as Bill.
Yep.
Legends of the Fall. Hard to find.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, it's really rare and it's really hard to come by, but somehow we both did.
Wow.
That's
And-
hilarious.
Twins of twins.
Twins of
I
twins.
just can't afford a Moose player. They're pretty pricey. I've seen a Pioneer on eBay. One $3,000. Gosh.
There's some loopholes, Andy. We've bought them as cheap, or I bought them as cheap as $10. They need to repair them, but then you got them going. They're good to go. You got to buy one of these lasers usually to get a Sony going, but once they're going, they're very reliable, very good players.
But the discs, that's the tough part sometimes.
Are they very noisy when they start up? versus a regular laser player?
They can be, yeah. The Muse discs spin a lot faster, so they do get a
You
little
put them in
more.
another room so you can't hear it.
No, I just crank the sound.
Yeah,
no, I mean to isolate them so you don't have to turn the volume up any louder. So
I actually did some to one of my Sonys. I actually fried an audio board doing this. I put some what is it? What would you call it, Bill? What would you call that material that I bought? Like sound isolation material.
Yeah,
I put it on the top. I put it on the spindle. I put it on the sides, and I think I shorted something out the first time I did it. And there's a piece of plastic that comes with some of these players that I put on top of there now, and that made the thing literally silent to where you can't hear it spin at all. And I also got an isolation platform to set that player on.
Oh, it's
Also,
Dynamat.
the casing.
Dynamat in there.
Yeah, Dynamat basically.
The casing box is going to have a resonant frequency. It's going to, because it's not absorbed on the top, the sides. You can get thin absorbent material that you can dampen it down, by, in terms of frequency and sound pressure, by just a margin, tiny. Not probably really worth it, I guess.
Yeah, I went overboard and completely wrapped the inside with Dynamat, and it worked. But yeah, way overboard.
But I can't understand why you can't use an IR emitter like I've done. Put mine in the kitchen and just use the remote. Point it at the screen.
Because they're art, Andy.
Huh?
They're art. I need to see them.
He wants to stare at his beautiful wood paneling.
Absolutely.
And you can't hear it, and you can't hear the player, and it's virtually silent.
I was actually surprised my Sony was pretty quiet playing Muse. I thought it was going to be like a truck in the room or something like that, but it wasn't bad.
But some discs tend to sound a little bit louder, like I think it's CLV, CAV. I can't remember which.
Yeah, CAV keeps at 1800 like the entire time.
Revolution.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you get a slightly warped...
CLV starts faster and then gradually decelerates
down.
And gets quieter.
Sometimes if you get a slightly warped disc, you could hear it kind of clanking in there a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
I've had one of those, and I had to straighten it out the disc. It took about a week, and then it didn't make any weird glitches with picture jumping and You should try putting it in another room.
Yep.
And then it's going to sound like, wow, the movies. Because you don't hear a projector in a cinema. Can you imagine a projector in the auditorium? That would be like 90 dB sound pressure level. Those things are loud.
So you got to start building more stuff, Peter. You got to build a side room.
I'll work on it, Andy.
Yeah, just an IR emitter. Just a simple IR emitter, and you could probably put I don't know, what's that round the corner over to your right side? Is that a doorway?
Wait, that?
Yeah, over.
That's the stairs going upstairs.
Yeah, but then
my wife won't let me put anything up there.
You've got that room that you've kicked your family out of.
I'm almost in possession of that. The kids are leaving for school here soon.
Excellent.
So anyway, move on, Trevor.
It's up to me now?
Yeah, what do you get?
Well, I ran around to a bunch of record stores and had my mom drop me off at Hot Topic and found a bunch of stuff. Plus, my Broterium Box Monthly showed up. Some of these, like this, I picked up.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Came out the dollar bin at a local record store.
Still with the shrink.
What a score.
Giving it away, man.
Then, got some highbrow here. It's Treacherous.
Ooh.
Stars C. Thomas Howell and Tia Carrera.
Baldwin.
What's the wrestling connection?
Adam Baldwin.
He's not even related to him. That's how good he is.
Awesome.
He's
like
the
a
good one.
cousin.
Yeah.
Then Stepford Wives Elite.
Nice.
I
I got that
clean
recently.
copy.
Yeah.
I wound up hitting a bunch of stores that I'd never been into before and kind of lucked out at every one. Then this has been in a box since I have no idea. It was a eBay purchase that I never opened, and I opened it right before here. Copy of the Time Guardian.
Oh yeah.
So
So
this
it
purchased
came from
about
Ryan's basement.
2 years ago. No, it was from some lady in California off eBay. So
She probably got it from Ryan.
she might have.
I wouldn't have gotten rid of the Time Guardian.
Half the discs in the country have passed through Rockford.
It's true.
We got Eric Roberts and Lance Henriksen in Nature of the Beast.
Ooh.
Nice.
Another direct insert into the Brotirian collection.
Yeah.
It was,
Absolutely.
just given a spine number yesterday.
Oh.
It's got Lance Henriksen. It's got to be quality. I'm down.
And Round Trip to Heaven.
Yes.
Ooh.
Corey Feldman and Zach Galligan.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I saw Feldman on there, I had to pick it up because I knew it was
Yeah.
quality. When
Absolutely.
you look at the back, you got, it looks like a bikini contest. I don't know what it is.
It's
But how
quality.
can you
Yeah.
pass on it?
I mean, it's got Corey Feldman in it, so you should just buy it.
It's
That's what I
it's that
did.
easy.
And this one for Peter Biancardi's hometown.
Oh, I love that
Original
movie.
Baristas.
I love that movie.
I actually had
Damn.
found a copy of this like locally, and I pilled it out, and then right as I was getting ready to check out, I checked the disc, and it had some random movie in it, so I never had it till today.
Have you watched that yet?
No, years ago I remember watching it, and I remember it being brought up in a documentary about the director, the producer.
It's the most awesome premise. It's the old school gangs come back to take on the new gangs.
Yeah.
Because the old gangs were good, but the new gangs are bad.
And it's got the real new gangs in the cast, like as gang members.
Yeah.
Real gang members.
There's definitely some people I've seen in Gary before in that movie.
Yeah.
And this one is one Ryan was trying to hook me up with some discs, and I told him to send me the one with Chuck Norris with a gun on it, and he sent me 3. So I got
Yeah.
Chuck Norris.
Look at that
Astonishing.
gun.
Wow.
That's not 3.5 out of like 4. That's better
3.5
than
out of 3.5
It was
Probably.
3.5 out of,
Yeah.
It was 3.5
That's
out of
Pulse
3.
It's got
3.5
an
out of
extra
3
half.
on that one.
that was gonna be in the Criterion collection, but
Yeah.
they stopped doing laser discs.
Meltzer gave it 7 stars.
I
Then
got
we
that one.
Hellbound.
Ooh.
Ah, yeah.
Chuck
Yes.
Norris.
Yep.
You got Chuck Norris. You got Flames. You got, I don't
And
know
it's
if I've
rated
ever
R.
actually seen this one.
It's got the rated
All
R
right.
sticker on the front.
It is
I love
rated R.
those.
It's also got a $1.99 sticker on it. So,
You overpaid.
and then when you buy 3 from Ryan, you get 1 free, and he threw in Carnosaur.
Carnosaur.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yes,
So you can't go
dinosaur.
wrong with this one.
Roger Corman.
That's
Roger
a great
Corman's a beast.
franchise that somehow gets worse than the first.
And then I've never seen this. I don't even know what the movie is, but Fred Williamson
Yeah.
in 3 Days to Kill.
Yes.
This is
I think
a sealed Brotirian that I
Wow.
just picked up yesterday. at a
Fred
local
Williamson
record
could
store.
easily be the next Hogan.
Yeah, that looks. Yeah,
Fred
good call.
Williamson should be.
He's awesome.
Don't ruin it for everybody. We got to order them all now.
Yeah.
From Dusk Till Dawn's like doubled in price immediately.
And then Oliver Grenier and Mark Singer, the fighter.
Ooh.
Nice.
We got a Western here.
He's buff.
Oh, no, we got a karate movie going on here. You got a Western, you got cowboys, you got karate.
Oh,
Seth, hit
Criterion.
him.
God.
Hit him with your poster quote there, Seth.
Yeah, he's got a 6-pack and a 6-shooter. They missed drop the ball on that tagline. How could they?
Oh my gosh.
And then this right here, I have no idea what is going on.
What is that?
It's a woman shooting a boy band.
Lucky Diamond?
It's called Lucky Diamond. It is in
I
0
love it.
collections on LDDB, and it's
Whoa.
in 1 wish list.
It must be worth at least $300.
So if the man that has it on his wish list wants it, holler at your boy. Right here.
Who's in it?
We
Anybody?
got some karate. It's got karate in it. So that's all you need to know.
Karate.
Yeah.
The genre is karate.
Yep. Even though it's kung fu, but that's close enough.
It was a gatefold, wasn't it?
Was it a gatefold?
And no, it was not a gate.
Oh, okay.
Andy, are you
And
ordering
then-
some of these on eBay? You getting some ideas?
I'm looking at
Summers?
some on
Yeah.
Laser. I'm
What?
looking at some.
Oh, there you go.
Games.
What?
Chicken fight.
Summers
Andy's
games.
movie.
That's
Summer's
a
Games.
That's a sexy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see this? It mentions oil wrestling, so
Oh.
this is another wrestling disc. We got
Yes.
another tie in here.
The Olympics were never like this.
Oh,
It says they
image.
got
It would have been cooler if they were.
Foxy boxing, tassel
Foxy
twirling,
boxing.
oil wrestling, and strip-offs.
Oh my god.
It's
Quality.
quality.
that's
Quality.
image
Summer
entertainment for
games.
you right there.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely entertainment right there.
That could easily be made this year.
And then I'm not normally one for highbrow, but sometimes you see a Criterion movie that you need to pick up. And I picked up The Search for Weng-Weng and Criterion Collection.
Awesome.
Starring our buddy Seth
Oh,
Peterson.
fake.
Look at that guy.
That's
It's the
singing in the
gatefold
Weng-Weng.
edition.
It's
Yeah.
a gatefold.
That's a gatefold, right?
I think
This is the
It's
gatefold
singing in the Weng-Weng.
Criterion Collection.
I think
Search
there's
for
something
Weng-Weng.
under there.
Wait, watch your mouth, Sam.
Sorry.
AC3
You see 'em?
remaster.
Who's that
Can you
guy?
see that?
Seth.
See this? Give me this, Ryan. Zoom on that. and
Yeah,
then tell Seth.
that's definitely Seth.
Yeah, it's
I'll go over to Seth. You'll see him.
100%.
The Search for Weng-Weng.
Excellent.
I've
And I'm going to
contacted
send it on
the
back to Sam.
director of
Excellent.
the director of that film and asked for the poster, and I sent him a picture of me. So let's see if I creep him out.
That was an extremely limited release,
Love
if I
it.
remember correctly.
Yeah,
Man.
there's one copy. No,
That was like the Streisand disc, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Prince of Tides too. Well, thanks for
Black.
showing off your wares, everybody. We're going to do recent spins. I'm going to tear through mine pretty quickly.
We went 45 minutes till 3 hours.
I know. We'll probably have to cut out the big mailbag segment. Maybe we'll save that for the next time and just call it. But I did watch this because I got a new player. Video Essentials.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Got to watch the exciting tales of the Amish fruit, vendors and the ballerina and the tough street kids.
And the blonde on the bike.
The blonde on the bike, the girl going out on the date, the guy with his Mopar car out on the beach or whatever, and
Red
the
shirt
car
dude.
show. It's gets me every time. And this was actually a pickup, one of those Japanese discs, but it's actually the American cut. True Romance, because I was rocking Sony Muse, and the Sony makes NTSC pressings look good, and instead of putting on Fifth Element or something that looks good for every player, this is a really good test disc because it's very murky and it can easily look like mud on any given player. So this actually, the layers and the kind of dim trailer that Dennis Hopper lives in, it all kind of came to life on the Sony. So I've probably watched this about 5-6 times since the last podcast. It's the extended cut.
Nice.
And lots of it takes place out Maxine's way, so I'm sure she loves it. Then, of course, I can't show it because it's in the mail on the way to Peter, but I watched Cliffhanger. I watched the Muse version that Peter loaned me because Bill gave me Peter's Cliffhanger and his Sony MSC 4000 Muse decoder. So I tried him out for a little bit, and looks fantastic in Muse, and I had a great time with it. So I was, very excited to watch that. And then, of course, I had to watch Legends of the Fall. This is the slightly rotted copy that Peter gave me, which is still watchable, and it's the nice. These things always remind me of chocolate boxes. For give the gift of chocolate to your love, and then they'll be disappointed when it's a LaserDisc, and then you go, oh well, I bought that for me anyways. So I watched Legends of the Fall.
It's like a box of LaserDiscs. You never
It
know
sure
what you're gonna
is. Brad Pitt is such an emo punk in this movie. He's such a loser.
And that one's hard to find.
Yeah. So you've got a rot-free copy now, Peter, right?
I don't know. I haven't actually watched it yet because I don't have a decoder.
It's coming tomorrow, I swear.
Own.
So I watched that. And what else? This I actually watched Double Whammy. These also came in the mail. Hard Boiled. These the original Hong Kong versions where they broke them into 2 so you could rent them twice and make extra money. So part 1 and 2. It's got the same picture on the back of Tony Leung there, but fantastic film. I own multiple versions of this, but I never had the original HK ones, and it's got the subtitles like burned in to the film print that they scanned. So it's really, quality overall, but I was actually surprised at how good it looked. And Chow Yun-Fat just crushes in this movie.
Awesome movie.
Yeah, love it. And then wrapping things up with, I was just talking to Bill about this today. Fishbone, the Reality of My Surroundings, a past to present video collection that came out with around the time the Reality of My Surroundings album came out. So, it's got all their early jams on there and bits with the band, kind of, talking on the street and giving you a little bit of info into how they operate and everything. Fantastic band. And I had this on VHS and was looking for this for a long time and finally have it. So I watched that. So I'm going to pass it on over to my man, Ryan.
So I watched a few things. I admittedly was watching some Vinegar Syndrome. I'm sorry. Have we got that sponsorship from Vinegar Syndrome yet, or we're still working on it?
We're still working on that. But
yeah. Well, now's where I complain that my box still hasn't come from the flash pre-orders and everything. So
don't be like that guy. Have you seen that guy?
Oh my God. No, I've seen Blood Games and it's fantastic. So I can't wait.
That's awesome.
I did watch a few others. We're not going to go into it now, but so I'll get to the LaserDiscs. I'll start with some highbrow.
Nice.
Arizona Dream.
Japanese rental.
Nice gold Japanese rental.
Obi.
I put it inside because it was like it goes on the top and it just was trying to fall off and I didn't want to deal with it.
And you don't want to put it on the side and annoy Luke.
I don't want to be a noob. I mean. So,
I've got the non-rental version, so you'll have to tell me how that one is.
It's very weird. Yeah, it's totally the same.
Yeah, what do you? Oh, yeah, I didn't get a report from you.
I mean, what the hell is going on the entire time? I mean, I get what's going on, but like the fish and the dream sequences and Jesus, what were they going for? I don't know.
Yep.
But
it's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting and it's worth a watch if you can find one. But it's Japanese only and. I actually added that rental to LDDB, so I don't know how many there are out there, but
I never saw it before you had it.
Yeah, so it's worth tracking down, just even the regular run. But it was cool, but it was too highbrow for me. I did drop it down a little bit with some vibes.
Vibes, nice.
Why did they let Cyndi Lauper make movies? I like Cyndi Lauper, but man, she just. I don't know. She's not great on camera.
Hey, it's good enough for me. It's good enough for you.
Exactly. And then, I did spin a True Briterian.
Any rot?
There's a little bit of speckle, but it's not bad. It's not overpowering. It's mostly at the beginning of each disc, which was surprising. And then they have
Moikey unwatchable.
Yes, poor Moikey.
This is actually got some special features. There's some freeze frames at the end, so you can see the freeze frames of all of the scantily or non-clad women in it. Roger Corman really knew what his viewers wanted.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Going the pool.
A true visionary.
True visionary.
Yeah, when you think about guys who really knew and understood film and home viewership, Roger Corman he tapped that market. So I always definitely want to shout out to that guy. I just want to put this up there for everyone to see.
Oh, don't trash ABBA.
Agreed.
We're going to lose our Swedish sponsorship.
I watched this one and people apparently love this and I thought it was terrible. I mean,
awesome.
I get it that it has attractive leads starting right here.
Yeah, look at that hair.
Yes.
But God, the movie just was really flat. I thought, and I wasn't impressed with Selma Hayek singing. I don't know. I guess the director's cut's better. That's what all the comments said.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I like the theatrical, but I'm going to see the director's cut one because it's got a little more stuff in it. But
yeah, so I'll have to check that out. And it might, I guess, it might flow better. And the story was really chopped up on the theatrical cut. So who knows? But I was surprised how many people had very strong feelings about that movie. And then this is my cursed disc. I can never finish it. I was trying to finish it before the show. I'd been wanting to watch it again, and the first time I watched it, my wife's like, "I don't like this. Let's go to bed." And then I'm watching it again, and I get all the way to the second side. two different people call me, and I'm trying to get ready for this podcast and finish my movie, and I really like this movie. No. And so I'm going to come back to this, and I didn't want to spoil it for all the people who are going to tune in, but this thing is fantastic. The transfer is fantastic. The movie is insane. Great Cronenberg. Don't find it on LaserDisc. Find a DVD, or I don't know if there's a Blu-ray, because it's worth it, but it's totally not worth whatever people are asking anymore. So those are my 5, and I didn't spend a lot of LaserDiscs this week. I'm normally around 10 or 15 every 2 weeks, and I was a lot lower because Vinegar Syndrome got in the way.
What about the Wiz?
The what?
The Wiz.
Oh yeah. I was saving that for next time. So
don't spoil it.
Yeah, we'll get to that next time. We will take care of the Wiz. So I'm gonna pass it off to Seth now.
So after the day after the last podcast, I watched The Day After. So that was one of my pickups, and I had it up. I was at Mom's house at that time, and I hooked up a LaserDisc player, and me and my wife, we watched it. So didn't bring the disc here so I can show it, but Peter showed it on the last podcast. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Probably Steve Guttenberg's funniest film after Police Academy 2. No, it was really gut-wrenching, and Nicholas Meyer did like a really great job. Nicholas Meyer also took the Star Trek 2 and Star Trek 6, among other things. But he's been involved in like recent Star Trek stuff, but some people don't like that. But yeah, really great film for what it's worth. There's also a British one called Threads.
Threads is rough.
yeah. People. So I posted about this on this movie group in Sweden, where people said like, yeah, but is it like Threads? And people said like, yeah, this one has more production value, but Threads is even rougher.
Yeah,
so,
Threads is grimmer.
Yeah, I need to see Threads too. So, but the same day I watched a non-Technidisc pressing of a film where you see this mustache, you will, question your masculinity.
I know what this is.
Stardust.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I'm trying, but it's gonna take a while, and I have to diet and stuff.
You need to get the bandolero and the red, tights.
Diaper.
The red diaper.
So I've seen her in recent highbrow films like
Charlotte Rampling.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in the 45 years or 42 years or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's corny. Sometimes it's kind of cool. The story twist with someone revealed in my post. Shouldn't do that on LDB, please. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, but that story twist was cool. And there's one thing. They have like this search engine they use, like vocal search engine, and they bake bread. So it's kind of like, hey, Alexa, give me the recipe for sourdough bread. So they got something right from the future. And haven't watched anything after that weekend. I have, since I'm working from home, I have no energy after a day's work because I have no air here in here. But it was Midsummer Eve. Me and my friend, we gonna watch a sci-fi flick. We picked Michael Crichton's The Andromeda Strain.
Nice.
I hadn't seen this. This was really great.
Yeah, good film.
Really enjoyed it. I got like sucked into the plot, and yeah, you can see Michael Crichton. He does things which he has like a format, and won't give away too much, but Jurassic Park. I have only seen the TV show of Westworld, and I guess also The Sphere. It's like a closed environment. And
fans of the film, there's a cameo appearance of Michael Crichton in the movie as well.
Aha, yeah.
Didn't know.
If you're looking at the scene where they have to take the medical doctor who's just about to start an operation, in one of the scenes in the shots with a beard and wearing the hat, there's a shot of Michael Crichton.
Cool. Yeah, and he was a medical doctor too, as well as a writer. Wrote the ER series, and
I've watched that movie so many times on DVD. Over and over and over in the same night.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Not for a few years now.
Yep.
But I do hope they do have a 6-track version.
No,
they released.
I was, aren't you in the Friends of 70mm groups anymore, Andy?
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
So I made a post in there about this, and the 6-track was mono. So some of the guys that run, so it was 6-track mono.
Really?
Yep, they didn't mix it in.
mono.
Yep,
That's
6-track
crazy.
Mono. Well,
Oh.
they probably had
Oh.
nothing on the well.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a 70mm film
I was
in
hoping they
mono.
would have directional dialogue and
Nope,
something.
Yeah.
nothing. But the
Cool
mono,
music with the.
nope. But it's a solid.
No.
It's a solid mono mix. It's a solid mono mix.
Okay,
And-
but it's still good. Okay.
Yep. And another thing about this film, it has a lot of staircases, a lot of windows, a lot of chrome trimmings on cars. Cone filters don't like it. I need to get an Eval board.
Eval board.
Yes.
Lots of aliasing. Yep.
My buddy Chris in Stockholm ventured out into Stockholm, which is like the height of the plague in the world right now. It's like the most dangerous place. He had a mask and gloves on and got like RS-33, 34, or whatever the connector is called. So he's doing the standalone thing for me. So yeah, those were my spins.
Nice. Watch Terminal Man next podcast, so we can talk about that.
So I have a little crossover because I was watching a bunch of these sci-fi trying to decide what I was going to put in my top list there. So I did watch Parasite, which I had said, like, my buddy's brother is like one of the main guys in this. He plays like you can actually see him there. That's him.
Mm-hmm.
It's
nice.
yeah.
It's the girl.
So
It's got artwork with a big creature again with big teeth.
yeah, that's the one. That's the one I showed in my top 5. This is, I mean, the creature's
it's back.
It's not that big.
Was that a different artwork?
Yeah, it's the same one.
Same one.
Oh, sorry, I must be getting dementia.
Happens. We've been going for so long. We're all gonna have dementia.
He's thinking of that.
I'll be quicker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I watched Strange Invaders.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Last night. I don't know. This was a little slower than I was maybe expecting, but it did have some good like creatures in it that were the alien creatures, and it actually had the cop who's, I'm just blanking on her name right now, but she's the one that works with RoboCop. It's his partner.
Oh, Nancy Allen.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
But she's like a tabloid, writes for like TMZ essentially, like, but of the time, just crap tabloid type of person. And she's she makes up this article about aliens, and then she meets like the main character, and then all of a sudden they're like in a relationship, and they went on a date. So it was interesting for sure. And then I watched Solar Baby.
Oh, nice.
Which this is roller skating.
And like a little Lost Boys connection.
Yeah, I know. It's yes, it has the like main guy from Lost Boys, and then Jamie Gertz is in this also.
Yeah, Jason Patrick.
Yes, thank you. And yeah, this was actually like better than I was expecting. It's kind of a little like reminded me of a bunch of different things, kind of like Flight of the Navigator a little bit, just because like the tone of it was kind of, to me, I felt like maybe aimed at kids a little bit more, or like the same age group that would watch Flight of the Navigator. But I really liked this, and it was roller skating, which I was literally not expecting that at all. And then like lacrosse roller skating. It was different. It was different. I was glad. And then this one, like, oh my God, I had never seen this before, and I was crying over the most hilarious things that Randy Quaid. There's this scene where they he's got this lab, and they have to tunnel under to get into the lab to try and like make this concoction so that they can like turn the main guy into a freak. And so they go into the lab under this tunnel, and they get inside there, and then like the machine's making all this noise, and they're like, oh, shush, and like he's right there, and like he doesn't hear it. He's in this room that's like close by, and he doesn't hear that. And so then they managed to find a volume knob and turn the machine's volume down, which is hilarious. But then the thing that literally got me, I was crying at this. It's like they knock over a literal like a little coffee cup that's made out of styrofoam, and it falls onto the ground, and then Randy Quaid's ears perk up, and he's like, styrofoam cup. Like, I just was crying over that. It's so stupid. I'm like, that's what literally gets him to freaking notice it. It's like he hears a styrofoam cup falling in his lap, and like that's what gets him.
That's a great film.
Oh
I mean,
my
not
God.
great, but
Oh my God, I loved that. It makes me laugh even just thinking about it because it's so stupid. It just like styrofoam cup. But yeah, that was all my spins. I'll pass it to Bill.
nice choices.
Thank you.
Got some decent ones and some not so decent ones this week. I started off my spins with 976 Eval.
Wow, yeah.
Yes.
Robert Englund movie. It starts off pretty good, but it takes a nosedive pretty quick. I don't know why this homie gets all possessed and like that, but he does. Didn't quite follow how that happened, but then it was there, so they
Just roll with it.
yeah, just went with it. I mean, it was cool. It was this like weird horror hotline that gave you some bad tips that were about to happen, and they happen. But then this dude just gets like all weird, and he gets like, check it out if you're interested. I don't want to say too much, but don't go in it with high hopes. And now this one, on the other hand, we were talking about our dude right here, Fred Williamson.
Yes.
Nice.
There you go.
That is
Ken Shamrock with him.
That's
Yeah,
like
it's
high-end Browterian right there.
back on
Yeah,
this.
that's the one that I got you, Ryan, right?
Yeah, so he found the same one. So we have the only 2 copies we know of in the world now.
Cool.
There's a Singapore and a Hong Kong one, and this is I believe the Hong Kong one. It's just
Wow.
not before like thingy on there. This was a really good time. Like the bike gang is super duper corny in it. Like the lead guy is supposed to be this dude. He never dresses up like this. And that's supposed to be. Do you guys see that?
Oh my
Yeah.
God! Wow.
Yeah, Fred Williamson doesn't look like that ever in the movie.
He always looks like that in real life, though. So
Yes. When he's shopping, he looks like that.
Oh yeah.
Always wearing some like Ray-Bans. He never has the war paint. He doesn't have like one of these jackets. He's looking like this the whole movie. So
Wow.
yeah, it's one of those like amazing Hong Kong like covers where the artist never actually saw the flick.
Yeah.
This one was a really good time. The Playroom.
Oh yeah, you told us about that one.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is, with Chris. What's his name there? Chris McDonald. Yeah, Chris McDonald. Shooter McGavin from
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore and whatnot. Really, really cool sets in this one. Chris McDonald like goes pretty nuts in it. He's good at falling apart, so he did good in that regard. But the sets were just off the hook in this, and
Castle stuff, right? Or kind of spooky Gothic castle stuff, or
yeah. It takes place in I think it was Yugoslavia. I was like, I forget. I got to double check on that one. But they're in some weird like abandoned monk like castle that has like tombs and crypts in it and whatnot. And there's just like all sorts of skulls everywhere and like tons of candles and like weird ruins and shit. It's really cool and just like that regard. I mean, the story itself is decent. It's kind of a ghost story. The practical effects, yeah, the acting and the sets were both pretty fire.
yeah.
So yeah, that was a good time. I watched a weird copy of Mallrats.
Awesome cover.
Scan.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, the cover is so good on this one. This actually, I think, is better than the American one.
Yeah.
The back is pretty lit too.
Oh my gosh, so sick.
Yeah, it's sick, and it's the pan and scan version. It's definitely pan and scan. You can tell that there's a decent amount lost in it. It's not open map, but you guys know I've got a 4x3 projector, so it actually looks pretty good on there.
Full immersion.
Yeah.
Jared.
Was it cut differently at all, or no?
Life people. It's a good time. And then,
Yeah, it was the same cut as the American version?
It is, yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't see any differences with it. I didn't see anything removed. I didn't see anything like different camera shots or anything like that. I know the movie pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much line for line at this point.
Cool.
But, yeah, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. And in the honor of the late great Joel Schumacher, we were falling down last night.
Fantastic film.
And seeing this. And
What is wrong with this hamburger?
Briefcase of lunch and a man on the edge.
Yeah, that movie rules.
yeah, oh man, this movie kicked so much ass. We had this on last night. Great picture quality,
Yep.
even better movie. Like Michael Douglas's performance in here is A++.
I bought that from the Tower Records on the corner of Mass Ave and Newberry Street the weekend it came out, Bill.
Wow.
That's
I was such a fan of that flick.
I really liked it. Yeah, ended up being one of my faves.
I was in the UK when that film came out with my grandfather. We traveled from all over the world, and I thought the rules in the UK were the same as in the US. So if you have a parent or guardian with you, can go in, and the guy like, yeah, how old are you, son? I'm 11. Can't see this. Get over here. Something like that. So same rules as in home in Sweden. So I had to wait until it came out on tape.
Nice.
I don't know. What have you been watching, Peter?
All right, so first one I've got here.
Ooh.
Edgar Allan Poe's.
Nice.
I love these movies. These discs of the Edgar Allan Poe, they're all 235-1. They all look just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous on LaserDisc. They've got a very like film-like quality to them. So this one here, The Premature Burial, it's just so awesome. The premise of the movie is Vincent Price's character is afraid that he's going to be buried alive because his father was cataleptic, I think it's called, and it's a condition to where you die and you see, or you don't die, but you seem like you've died. Your body shuts down. So he goes through the whole movie worried that this is going to happen, explain to his wife, his father-in-law, to everyone that, this is going to happen to me. I'm worried. He builds this whole catacomb that he wants to be buried in with several ways to escape it, that he can get out of the coffin, he can get out of the tomb if they happen to bury him alive, and just the whole thing. And then eventually, of course, you know what happens.
Spoiler alert.
He dies, and then none of them think to even question it. Oh, he's just dead. Like he spent the whole movie telling them, "Don't bury me alive. I'm probably have catalepsy," and they don't even question it. So and then he comes back and just goes after all of them. It's bizarre. And then Tales of Terror. This was like 3 or 4 short stories. Very, very cool disc. I would recommend this to anyone, any genre of movies that you like. They're just cool.
Nice disc.
Next, I watched this one today. This is one of my favorites. Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, excellent.
Nice. Wooderson has got to be the greatest character on film ever. I mean, it's just crazy acting.
All right.
All right, yeah. Then, because I got a new preamp, I had to play some music on it. This is Iron Maiden.
Made in England.
For the record, are much better than ABBA. This is from 7th Tour of a 7th Tour. I would say this is kind of their peak. Obviously, before they broke up, this was as good as it got during 87, 88.
Moonchild.
Started to go downhill 89, 90, 91, but this is awesome. And of course they're back to being awesome now, but after 7th Son they went downhill for a while. But this is amazing.
Yeah, that's I think I even like that more than Live After Death. I don't want to say that out loud, but
no, I agree, because there's so many more good songs that came in the next couple albums that are on 7th Son. I watched.
How many of you guys have a multi-standard player?
I do.
Oh, I know Seth would, because he's in Europe. And...
Yeah, so what, 3 of us? 4 of us?
Kind of do, because Bill discovered that the HIL C1 will actually play a PAL disc.
Yeah, it's just a little freaky looking, right?
Yeah, it just spits out the wrong video, but... And I watched this one.
The special collection.
Pan and Scan. I bought this a while ago, thinking that it would be special collection, like everyone likes the JSC Star Wars, and it's got great sound and everything, but it's 4x3, which is kind of disappointing. But
that one was Super 35.
Yeah.
So this is open matte.
Yeah.
Well, in a way, it's still pan and scan, but with using the full aperture. Yeah.
You won't miss Mitch. You won't miss a whole lot on the whip.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll see more bottom part of the frame.
Yeah.
So it's an approved release. Good.
So yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting they didn't do a letterboxed one for the special collection.
Yeah, and I mean it's got that great volleyball scene, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And then because my new preamp has I'm just astounded by this feature. And like I said in my post, I think everybody probably does this, but I never knew how, or I never bothered to do it. If you plug in the digital and the analog for the LaserDisc kind of into the same input, if it doesn't sense a digital signal, it'll just switch right to the analog.
Yeah.
So when you pop an analog disc, when I pop an analog disc in, now I don't have to worry about anything. It just automatically plays the analog sound. So
Excellent.
Rush, exit stage left.
Boo.
Well, who's booing Rush? Who did that?
That was me.
Was that Ryan?
I'm not a
Seriously?
Rush fan.
Greatest drummer of all time, dude.
Yeah.
I get that, but the guy seems like he's like, screaming like a cat or something. Like,
Seems like
What, you don't like cats? We love cats.
I love
Sam.
cats, but I don't want to hear them sing over rock music, over a bunch of prog.
I do.
Sam, you were obviously a big Geddy Lee fan, I gotta guess,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
You can almost see it if you watch a video of you playing the bass. It literally looks a lot like him.
Yeah, I steal everything from him.
Nice. All right, so I'm done. I'll go to Trevor.
Excellent choices.
All right. These recent sprints are brought to you by Pago Red Pot.
Yes.
Really good pot.
AEW
So-
Dynamite.
AEW Dynamite, Schlack, and Horror Slam Wrestling. But I just watched this split second with Ruckert Hauer. Like, I finished it today. You guys should definitely watch this. I would say it's a terrible, amazing action sci-fi movie with Ruckert Hauer and a guy in a giant suit that looks like Venom. So
I've still never seen it, so I'm gonna put it on.
you should. I liked it. Ruckert Hauer spends the whole time drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes or cigars. It's got Kim Cattrall in it.
Ooh.
A bunch of other British actors that I don't remember their names. And then I watched Rounders.
Yes.
Nice.
This,
Pay him his money.
Pays that
this
man
is
his
right up there with probably the top movies I've watched the most ever. This has got to be at least in 100. Like, former poker player myself, so I watched it all the time, kind of like just anything on in the background.
I love when he throws the Oreos.
Yeah, he's got alligator blood.
What's on Shudder right now?
Yeah, it looks like you got like a techno dance party going on there.
Right now on Shudder we have what is it? Chopping Mall.
Nice.
Yes.
So
That's a good one.
Was it Joe Bob or just running it straight?
I'm just running it straight. I just want something on in the background.
For those of you who haven't signed up yet, Joe Bob ended his run till later this summer, so you have time again to catch the next season 8. I think they officially call it.
Yep.
Yeah.
If Shudder was looking to sponsor,
I think they are.
Shudder. We're trying to get Shudder and Fago as our first sponsors.
and
And I'm
Bitter
getting
Syndrome.
Panama Jack
And the
to
local
sponsor.
Yes.
Animal Jack and we're gonna have Maxeene work on In and Out. We're gonna get some animal burgers. And
Oh yeah.
I recently watched Ski School again.
Oh,
What did you
yes.
learn?
I didn't learn how to ski, but I definitely learned that I love a shitty 80s, early 90s ski movie.
Yes.
I wish I had Ski Patrol, but Ski School works. If you like neon colors,
Yes.
you got neon colors for days in this thing. You got all kinds of basically you got somebody that kind of losing my train of thought. But you got the bad group of guys, and you got what we considered the good group of guys, which today's Sanders, a good group of guys, are probably not very good, but I'm going with the 90s, and they're great guys. But they
Everyone skis in bikinis, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
In the spring,
Skiing
you do.
bikinis, you got you're skiing for the mountain, and they get to the thing, and of course they got to get dropped off a helicopter and ski down the back of the mountain
Sure.
at some point.
Oh, of course.
Because that's
Is he
just
getting
what
a
happens.
gunfight down the slope?
No, it doesn't do that, and Bond doesn't have a parachute on his back.
Yeah.
And then I watched The Search for Weng-Weng.
Singing in the wing.
Seth Petersson.
Seth Petersson.
Yeah.
This thing is so rare, I don't want to give away anything about it. So you have to talk to Seth to find out.
Yeah.
Right
I
there,
do highly
that
recommend
man.
Weng-Weng's For Your Height Only if you have. It's not on LaserDisc, sadly, but it is an amazing film.
So Criterion Collection, Search for Weng-Weng. Holler at your boy. I got it for sale, $500. I'm sending it over to Seth or Sam.
So, do you want to just push out all the mailbag stuff for another episode, Ryan? You think, we got enough episode?
Yeah, I mean, Seth, did you want to?
Let's talk about the.
The crime of the century.
Yeah,
exactly. The
double crime of the century.
Double crime of the
century. It's not
century.
just one crime.
The transatlantic postal disaster. So to start, Ryan had a box for me. This box is the type of boxes we get from Japan. They are sturdy. They're like Humvees. They're like tanks. They are No, they're not.
There's bracing on them and everything, right?
Yeah, there's bracing on them and everything. So, and it was stuck in a terminal in your neck of the woods, Chicago somewhere, and then in New York for ages. Showed up just the day before midsummer in Sweden. Couldn't get it until this week. I go up to the terminal. And the guy comes out with a little forklift.
What's Trevor doing? What are you doing, Trevor?
Whoa, Trevor.
Oh, sorry.
Jesus. Seth, rewind a second.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You got one of your wrestling trainees down there?
So I drive up to the postal terminal.
Hold.
It's heavy. It's 23 kilos, 40 pounds, something like, so I go to the postal terminal, and the guy comes out with a forklift, and I go, holy, what's this? And it looks like this. And he says, take a picture. I got my phone in the car. He said, no, go get your phone, take a picture here on the docking bay, because you need to prove that it was damaged like this here. So this box has probably been sitting in the rain and probably in a puddle. Because if you analyze it, I've done some forensic on this thing. So the address thing is on the side. So it's probably been the right side up in a puddle, got really soaked, and then stuck in a machine. So Ryan has packed this as good as you can. So a lot of the discs inside were in mailers, and they were soaking wet. The outer box, and also Ryan was kind enough to include some Butterfingers in this box, and they are gone.
That was the real crime, not the discs.
Yeah. So a lot of water damage on the disc. One of the discs that didn't get any water damage was Waterboy, Nate Release. So and another one that didn't get water damage was if you can see that
Dead Ringers.
Dead Ringers CLV.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So that's a bit of a rarity. And Hard 8 didn't get that much of damage.
Ooh.
So a bit of a Nate Release too. Pecker did get a bit, but nothing really, really rare. And no discs were cracked. Some were or slightly warped, so I have to send them to Greece. I think is the place now for those if you want to get flattened discs. But this was horrible. But in the end, this is cardboard and plastic discs. Due to sending stuff from, Bill have sent me players. I've sent players to Sam, and I've sent
you stuff.
Yeah, you sent me stuff, and so this is due to Rona. So things are standing a long time, and it's probably stuff happens to PG, and in the end, it's only cardboard and plastic discs. This will probably play fine once I flatten them out. Some I will probably get the covers for. Some I will get replaced, but nothing really, really rare. Oh yeah, 2 Hogan discs looked like they've been in Florida during a hurricane season, like the Thunder in Paradise ones. Mr. Nanny made it pretty well too, so I'm glad for that. So, but this.
Yeah, and I mean, the box looked like it got just dropped off of Sherman's house.
Yeah.
And
and an alien burst out of it burster style.
And then it spent some time with some VHS folks, and then everything inside was fine. But then it decided, you know what? Let's just leave it out in the rain just to make sure that we rain on everyone's parade. And then steal the Butterfingers.
Yeah, and steal the Butterfingers. Yeah. So what I had, so I was actually when I drove there, I was thinking, when I open this box, I'm going to open it quickly because I drove there on the lunch room, and my wife drove me. So I'm going to open it up when I go home and have a Butterfinger, and then I'm going to go through the disc later in the evening. No, I had to buy a Snickers. And they used to be called Marathon in the UK ones. You remember that, Mandy?
Marathon bars?
Yeah. Marathon bars. So and Twix was called Raider here. Raider, like, yeah, that's not related to this, but yeah, it's a travesty, but it happens, and it's time to move on.
And no discs were broken, so if we can track down some jackets, we will as well.
Yeah,
which is amazing, because when you see the photo, oh my god, I thought that everything was going to be shattered. I can honestly say I saw it and I'm like, did a bomb go off inside of it? Like,
and I actually spoke to a friend that has a similar issue. So his buddy does the same thing, collects stuff for him, and then ships it over. And his box is lost, and he has he collects Blu-rays and Genesis games. And if that has had the same thing, all of those DVDs or Blu-rays on Genesis cartridge is going to be all over the floors in some postal office and ruined. So because they were like big boxes inside this big box, they didn't fall out. Butterfingers did.
Yeah, that's a tragedy. I will get you some more Butterfingers, and we'll track down some jackets and get you some more discs. But man, like, when I saw the photo, like, I woke up to that photo and I'm like, what just happened? And,
but also, you guys gave me some good tips. If someone gets a wet disc, you take out the inner sleeve, take out the disc, and you put dowel rods. I had to learn a new word, dowel rods. Put that in, and so the inside doesn't touch. I had one disc that was Silence of the Lambs. I threw it under the bus. I didn't want it, and now if I'm gonna open it, it's gonna go. But I had that. I had a copy of that before. So
I've used if you don't have dowels, you can use just like regular cotton swabs or Q-tips, something like that, and just cut them in half and kind of put those in there too.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yep. Good deal. Well, thanks for sharing your trauma, Seth.
Yeah. I was so bummed out in the car there. I was like totally like quiet, like all inside myself. And my wife was like, "How's it going?" Like,
Find your inner peace.
Yeah. Serenity now.
Yeah.
And I had to say to my boss,
That's right.
What do you say, Bill?
I said at least Waterboy survived.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Got some high quality H2O there.
So we did get a lot of questions. We're going to save that for next week next week or whenever we reconvene. In fact, we have a big segment all about one particular topic, and we'll do that later. But so I guess we'll do the general like what's everybody going to watch tonight if they are going to watch something. I'm going to probably finish The Big Blue because I only watched like the first 20 minutes. So I'm going to wrap that up. What are you doing, Ryan?
Well, I'm going to finish Existence, which I had really wanted to finish before it. And, I only have probably 30 minutes left or less. And then, I waited for 2 months for this. So this is getting spun right away. I'm posting it. Yep. I'm going to do some promotion for us because Sam needs the clicks.
Yep, Nate.
Give me those clicks.
Absolutely. And, that's going to be my night. Seth?
Cool.
I'm gonna go to bed. It's 5 in the morning, so I'm gonna go to bed. What about you, Maxine?
Well, the household has requested showing of Batman.
It's a nice disc.
Yes.
Batman it is.
Michael Keaton's coming back as Batman too in the new movie.
I know.
Flash movie.
That's it's timely.
Yeah.
It's timely. I think it's worthwhile watching it.
Yep. Good sound on there.
I know. I don't know if I've watched it on LaserDisc or not.
Andy
Do
doesn't
they
approve
think
of
they're
Michael
going to
Keaton.
make Batman great again just because they're going to bring back Michael Keaton because all the other ones were kind of like fail?
We'll see.
That's a strong opinion. I
know Val Kilmer and like George Clooney and
well, those were
George
failed.
Clooney, those are failed.
Yeah.
I think Spencer begs to differ. I think he likes one of them. I don't remember.
Spencer loves Forever, Batman Forever. Yeah,
that's one. Yeah.
So all right, going to bed.
I like Batman and Batman Returns.
Batman Returns is my favorite.
That's good.
Very good.
No.
Peter.
What are you doing?
I'll do my normal after cast routine, which is go to bed and maybe put on an Andy video and relax and fall asleep.
Oh, Andy better put a video on so you can watch.
I got a notification that Andy had a new video just posted before this. So,
Perfect.
Peter, you've got some material. Thank you, Andy.
Where's Bill? What's Bill doing?
I'm gonna watch Song of the South tonight.
In case you guys didn't see, there has been another post
Oh,
made
so we're at
since we
4
cast
today?
it. Yes.
4? Wow. That was 4 more than we needed.
Yeah, I'm actually a coin toss, either Inseminoid or
Ooh.
I might do Split Second. I've had it for a while.
Watch it.
Watch
that for
Split
real.
Second.
Never seen it. I might do actually, Split Second.
It's a documentary. It's set in the future of the year 2008.
I know, that's
So,
that's my favorite thing. It's like future that's already passed, and then when you watch it, you're like, wait a minute, not do that.
Yeah, so probably gonna put that on.
Who do we miss?
Trevor.
Trevor?
I'm probably gonna finish watching Chopping Mall on Shudder, and then I might watch Weng-Weng again. And, I think I'm going to try to throw that Lucky Diamond on, even though I'm not going to be able to understand what's going on. I'm trying to put it on in the background.
Yeah, let me know what that is.
It might have subtitles, so.
It might have birds in.
I don't think you need subtitles for just plain ass kicking. So.
Yeah, Lucky Diamond, you don't need it.
I looked it up and it mentioned it was like comedy, but when you look at the thing, it looks like action.
Yeah, it's probably
kicking,
like
whatever.
Jackie Chan's like 80s stuff, like My Lucky Stars and Wheels on Meals and stuff. It's like kind of half comedy, half action.
Yeah, it's like 1985, so it's probably a Jackie Chan ripoff.
Yeah, that's like right in that period. So cool.
Yeah.
So
Andy, you're gonna stay up and watch Lawrence of Arabia, or
Star
Trek 2?
What?
What are you gonna watch, Andy?
Did we inspire you to watch some LaserDiscs, Andy?
Are you gonna go to sleep?
I'm looking at some ones maybe to buy.
Yeah,
nice.
Right now.
Do it before the podcast comes out, because otherwise we have an effect. We affect the market.
We are notorious bad influences, Andy. We make you spend money.
Peter and I spend the podcast buying things that people have talked about. Did you get anything tonight, Peter?
I did not.
I got 3, so.
Bill's bad influence tapped me out.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Some of those games would be $100 by the end of the week.
Yep.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for joining us, Andy. And,
thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
I like to come back.
Yeah, man. If you want to join in.
Well,
if you're going to do one again next week, please.
We usually have like a little bit of a gap, couple weeks, something like that. But we'll keep you posted. You got my email, of course. So
Yeah. On the next what? On the next the next show.
And we're trying to trim it down below the 3-hour mark just for everyone who watches us, because we'll talk all night, and Seth will pass out.
Yeah.
But we gotta worry about our viewers as well.
Yeah, we're gonna rotate
like a 24-hour marathon.
Yeah, we should do that fundraiser.
Yeah.
But that's not good for the body.
But yeah, we'll probably rotate cast members a little bit from here on out and kind of trim it down a little bit. But no, thanks for hanging out, and thanks for everybody for watching. And
Thank you.
live long and prosper.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.